Well, hello there.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Pathfinder's weird with spells at higher level. You have to memorize. You have to
So,
actually.
how are you all doing?
We're doing good.
Doing good.
It was just
Tired.
We're just gonna do a quick explanation of heightened spell casting. That's what it's called. It's called
Heightened spell
spells.
casting, aka spell steroids.
No, it's called. It's like it. Sorry. So super quick. So in Pathfinder, Pathfinder 2, because I don't play Pathfinder 1 anymore. It's Pathfinder 2 when you get the opportunity to heighten a spell, meaning you can actually cast a spell at the next available spell slot. And it's not always a 1-for-1 comparison. So some spells have a +1, so basically it goes up the rank with you. Those are usually lower level spells. And then some other spells go like, first, third, fifth. Some go first, fifth, ninth. So the progression that's the basic progressions. But when you heighten a spell, you lose the spell at the spell slot it was before. The only way you don't do that is if you memorize the spell again at the level where it is normally and then increase the spell. So if you want to have the option to cast a spell that has, let's say, you can cast it at first and fifth because it's heightened is a fifth spell slot. If you want the option to still be able to cast it at a first level spell slot, you have to have it memorized twice as a first and as a fifth level spell. So you have to burn a slot in both of those spell slots to have that spell. And that counts against your memorized or known spell count. So there's a lot of decision making in Pathfinder if you're going to be a caster, because you have to give up spells at lower ranks to get the higher rank spell, or have multiple copies if you want to do like situational damage or situational like buffing or shit like that. So it's a little weird. It's not
Why I was a
easy.
grenadier.
And while other people just call that arbitrary bullshit.
I mean,
it sounds like overcomplication for the sake of overcomplication.
Yep.
No, I mean, I can see the reasoning behind it. I mean, it. I'm not going to turn this stream into a
let's not go into a Pathfinder rage fest here.
But there's reasoning why Paizo did it the way they did it, and I kind of understand as a path, because I GM Pathfinder as well. But I'm like, yeah, it makes me a little bit salty. I will say that.
Well, you know what isn't going to make you salty? I hope. Tonight's game.
You say that.
I have no salt plan for any of you, so any salt that happens is all on you.
Yay! Self-salt.
There's always.
But before we get
Shadow Fox for this,
before we get into anything tonight, a huge thank you again to our sponsors over at Roll20 for sponsoring this game. They continue to provide us a home and a means to play Roll20 or play D&D, even though we are all spread out across the US and Canada. And in this day and time when social distancing is a huge thing, if you've got a D&D group that can't meet together because, you don't want to get the coronavirus, Roll20 is right there for you. You can bring everybody on, pick up your game wherever it left off in person. It's got the D&D character sheets, it's got the manuals, everything. All you got to do is log in, create an account, and get everyone set up.
Yeah, our entire shop game, our entire comic book shop game went to Roll20 because of this.
Thank you, Roll20, for being there.
What she
In
said.
our time of need.
I don't know why she's whispering.
I don't know why either.
In our time of mandated quarantine.
Mandated? What are you talking about?
Yeah, people talking about the quarantine. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking Raul Julia's speech from Street Fighter with the whole. But for me, it was just Tuesday.
There's in Oregon and a lot of other states. There's local ordinances.
Oh yeah, same here.
Man, I would love to be quarantined right now.
For social distancing.
But I would love to be quarantined right now.
Yeah, Well, you're technically an essential worker.
Yep.
so-
I don't want to be an essential worker,
okay.
but I have to be.
So I want to get on a soapbox here, but I'm not going to because we have a game to play.
It was horrible.
So last week,
I don't remember.
the group was able to after a session-long fight. Your fight
Oh my God,
lasted
that fight.
4 hours. By the
Did
way,
it?
yes, it did.
Yeah,
The fight
it did,
lasted
yes.
all session.
Was that our longest fight we ever had?
Yep.
Yes.
Actually,
pretty
no.
close, yeah.
No.
We've had a Titan last for the whole time.
The fight with the season finale of season 1 lasted 5 hours.
Did it?
Oh God,
Holy
yeah, the freaking spider.
Oh no,
fight.
it lasted 6 hours because it was a special 6-hour episode.
That's
Oh
right.
my
because
God, that fight, God,
we-
the
we
entire
planned for the
session was
fight.
combat.
We planned for the fight, and then discussions of what everything happened afterwards.
That was the fight where Elric unintentionally shunted Cassius through hell. I remember that.
Yep.
'Cause I was riding the monster.
Yep.
And I went with him.
Oh, right. Because he went through, like, transported you through, like, weird portals and shit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
God.
trying to do damage. Hellfire.
Oh my God, that was such a horrible fight. I can't believe we lived.
But
that fucking night.
After a very long and hard fought battle with one character dying for temporary amount of time after Molly got hit with a power word kill, you were able to defeat the Witch of the Woods, and in turn doing so knocked the next hag in line for the title of Yaga up to the top spot. Though
Apparently very appreciative.
though this hag isn't like the last one, as she is a red hag, ones that are a little more helpful to people. They
Less
don't-
murder hoboy.
Yeah, they're the more sophisticated hags.
That's awesome.
She
Drink their tea with their pinky out.
restored the forest by removing the corruption that her predecessor had previously set, and then offered you guys not only safe night's rest, but safe passage through her woods, as well as attempted to strike up a deal with Ash.
Which is pinned.
TBD.
and-
So, yeah, which
TBD.
is currently pinned because a couple people, Zale, I don't think she should take the deal and shouldn't trust her because of past bad deals that Zale has made.
But notice Zale wasn't so quick to stop Rose from making a deal with the hag.
Zale.
Well, okay. The difference is Ash is the one
The difference is
that
Ash
has
would
been
listen.
lecturing Zale for the last 2 years over making deals. Rose has not lectured Zale once about that.
All she has to do is trade her hag tomes to
My collection.
your collection, but in
Her
return
precious.
she guarantees the prosperity of your family, as also a means to connect you back to your homeland.
Prosperity.
I don't know.
And when
That sounds like a conversation you need to have with your father.
and as we pick up today, everyone is waking up from a very a much needed, comfortable, peaceful 8 hours of sleep. Everyone but Zale is awake in the cavern, or not the cavern, but the cabin. Zale decided to go the more natural route and sleep outdoors. So much to her promise, Zale, you were not touched throughout the night.
That's good.
And as the day comes to a start, I have to ask, what are you all doing?
Sleeping.
Is there any sign of wildlife in the surrounding woods?
Yes.
Like just regular wildlife.
Like
that would be in a
once
forest?
she removed the corruption, it's almost as if you're standing in a brand new forest as just vibrant wildlife and plant life begin to sprout and wander about.
I'm going to see if I can capture like a rabbit or baby deer or something for breakfast.
I'm gonna say due to the circumstances of the forest, you don't have to make a survival roll. It's kind of like just it's like you're going to a restaurant and you've got your pick of the crab tank.
Perfect.
Aww.
I'm just
All
gonna
the wee
sit
baby
outside
animals.
the. Yes, I'm eating all the baby animals.
All the wee baby
Um,
animals are too ignorant to know any different at this point in time.
All the
Just
baby
came into
animals
existence.
and Bambi's mother. I'm
Aww.
gonna sit
Just-
outside the
just the
cabin,
baby.
just having breakfast.
Okay.
I don't know. We need to figure out a better name for Zale's breakfast because I'm pretty sure it looks way more disturbing than regular breakfast.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
It's breakfast with quotation marks.
I like that. Keep going.
So, as Zale is leaning up against the outside wall of the cabin, waiting for everyone to awaken, what are the rest of you doing?
I will go outside and join.
All right, and as you walk out, you see Zale just back up against the cabin, tearing into what looks to be, or what used to be, a rabbit.
How did you sleep out here?
It was fairly cozy. Safe, so I suppose she kept her word.
Oh, that's a relief. All right, well, at least you weren't attacked and you're all in one piece.
Care for some rabbit?
Oh, yes, please, I'm starving.
I'll very unceremoniously just rip a leg off the rabbit and
And I
toss it her
devour
way.
it. And unladylike devour it.
Now you're getting the idea.
Oh, so, are they still out here?
Now Ash is gonna go and find something to drain.
Is who still out here?
The hag and daddy lich.
If they are, they're keeping to themselves.
Zale, you saw, like, later on in the night, you saw Barnaby leave with what remained of the witch. He bid you farewell, said he had to do something with this, as he held up the withered skeleton, and then he would be making his way back to the villa to continue his work on his project.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna go into like a special kit or something back at the fucking palace.
I mean, he's got a
just gonna
body now.
resurrect.
He's got a body now, so people pull.
Barnaby headed back with what remained of his daughter. Part of me is suspicious that he is going to raise her again. But, you know, liches do as liches do, I suppose.
Right. Did he mention he was still going to go through with creating our items?
He didn't mention it, but he didn't tell us otherwise, so...
Well, he said it would take about a day, so I guess we'll find out in about a day.
I suppose we will.
But I suppose our next stop now is to go down to Malorsik and do what we're supposed to do as far as that gem or something, and say a word to help restore the town or the souls or something.
Assuming that's what TUES wants to do. I mean, we may get down there and he could decide that he doesn't want to restore any of it. It is his decision, ultimately.
Of course. Well, and once we're done, I can teleport us back to the grandmother's house. We can pick up Sahara and check in, rest before we head over to Tickle's kingdom and help out with her whole brother situation.
So about that whole teleporting thing, I haven't said anything about this because I feel a little bit bad. You put a lot of work and money into being able to use that teleport spell.
Tails, don't tell me what you're going to tell me, what I think you're going to tell me.
So when I was in the Dragon's Horde...
Oh, no.
One of the items that I grabbed and I kept for myself would allow me to do that teleport thing 3 times a day.
I'm sorry, what?
I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to upset you after all the work you did.
I mean, that's not your fault. This is not frustration towards you at all.
I understand.
The whole situation. Well, once we get our money back, then maybe I will have enough money to enhance the enchantment on the chain.
Perhaps.
If we go back, but and here's the thing that I'm a little fearful for, and please correct me since I don't quite understand magic that well, but it says I can use it once a day. But is it once a day, like 24 hours since I've used it, or within that midnight to midnight period?
Well, if it works the same way that with the rune magic that I've studied works, well, honestly, I don't actually know. As far as the runes go, I just kind of use them and then don't try again until after I've had a good night's rest.
Right. Because I was thinking at some point there is much I need to discuss with my father on various different situations. And I wanted to maybe potentially leave for an evening, like leave at night and then come back in the morning.
Right.
If the spell allows it, but if not, then we'd have to wait a whole day before I could come back. Because it's the whole, I did it the night before. That's before the midnight marker. Yes. And then, 9 hours later, but
I mean,
again, I don't know until we try it, I suppose.
Yeah, all you could really do is try it and see what happens.
I just don't want to leave you guys for that long.
Well, we can, when the time comes that you want to give it a try, we just make sure we're in a safe area and we can wait a day if we need to.
Right. I mean, I'm definitely not going to do it if you guys are in danger. And the good news is with this heart thing that I have, I would just hand it off to one of you guys so you're safe and the force won't attack you while I'm gone.
Right. These things that you were talking about discussing with your father, is one of them that offer by any chance?
It is, and yet oddly enough, that's only second compared to what I really want to talk to him about. But yes, that would be one of them. More of information gathering, really.
Do you, well, speaking of your family, I suppose, do you still intend on going after your grandfather?
See, that's the funny thing, actually, that I haven't told you guys yet. I don't know. I want to. But I had a conversation with my father that's upset him, and I need to talk to him about it.
Is that something you want to take care of right after we finish this business for TUES?
Most likely, because another thing that would be a good idea, and of course this was my plan without the realization of you being able to teleport, was get us to Malorsik, restore it, teleport us back to the old ladies and help with Tickle and her brother. And then we would be able to teleport back to Malorsik and travel westward towards those islands. I mean, not to mention that's also, I believe that's also the direction that the genie's in as well. But it's also in the same direction that my grandfather's supposed to be in, and I want to kill him, but I made a promise not to, and I need more information, and maybe even help.
I see.
But without my stuff, I can still communicate with my family. Thank the gods, but I can't do much else without my other stuff. So this is kind of my backup plan.
Yes, losing all of that has kind of unexpectedly hampered our progress, hasn't it?
It has, which is why I'm thankful. If he remembers, I can at least get a mirror back, or remade, I guess, another one made to kind of help a little bit along the way. But yes, that's the better. The sooner we can get our stuff back, the better.
As nice as it is, I'm sure, to have a bag that you can just throw everything into, might I recommend in the future maybe not using those? I seem to get along just fine without them. I'm sure you would too.
You say that, but I'm a hoarder.
I haven't noticed.
Weirdly enough, a lot of it's just little things. It's not even like big things, a couple of things, but it's mostly just a lot of little stuff.
You should try traveling light for a while.
I
It
thought that
can
was.
be, well, maybe it is for you. You see, when we send our hunting parties out, for example, all they have is their weapons on hand. We don't send them with any supplies, any food or anything, and they're gone for sometimes months at a time. It can be a little liberating even to just go out with what you can carry in your hands.
Just why I was thankful I had certain things on me, thankfully. But can I be honest with you? With one of the items I really do miss aside from the mirror?
What was that?
See, all my silks were in there.
Oh.
Now, granted, I can get a spare from my father when I go visit, but my silks were in there.
I wish I could do something to help with that. But,
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just, it's gonna be weird traveling without that kind of luxury. It's the little things, but you know.
You know what you should try sometime? In fact,
If
the
you
next
say laying on
time...
the floor, I'm not gonna do it.
Never mind.
I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say dirt, not floor, but...
If it makes you feel any better, I have done it before. I have gone hunting with Turok. Granted, I brought a little bed with me, like one of the rolls, bed rolls, nothing like super crazy, but still, I don't mind getting dirty.
A bed
dirty
on
all
a
the
hunting
time.
trip?
It was a bed roll. Yeah.
I think next time we bed down for the night, you should sleep outside with me. Give it a try.
I mean, we did it quite often. I mean, I didn't have silks the entire time we were together, remember?
No, but just sleep on the ground. Don't use blankets, don't use a bedroll, don't use silk sheets.
Well, then what do I use?
Nothing. You just find a rock to lay your head against and rest.
But then what do I rest my head on?
A rock.
That
or a
sounds
mound of
very
dirt.
uncomfortable. That sounds very dirty.
It can be.
My hair will get dirty.
But that's fine.
That's not fine. Her eye starts to twitch. But I don't mind getting dirty, but that's like in a fight, not willingly getting dirty.
If you get too dirty, you can always just find some water to take a dip into, and then when you come out, do what I do. Track down Rose and go over to her and then shake yourself really hard.
You see, that's another thing that's really weird now, and we've actually haven't been in this situation yet. But we have men with us now. We can't just tromps around naked anymore.
Why not?
Well, I mean, you can. You've got fur to cover yourself.
I don't see an issue.
This is good rabbit. This is
It is, isn't it? Nice and fresh.
Thank you for hunting it for us, Dale.
It was a little too easy, actually. I'm a little disappointed.
Do you want to go back out and do an actual hunt? Feel better?
Well, when we're out of this forest and in some place that has maybe bigger game and faster game, I
Okay.
can track something down.
Okay. We'll do that.
How's everyone else doing?
Well, they were asleep when I was last in there, so I don't know if
Yeah,
they're
what
that
are
exhausted.
what are the rest of you doing?
Unless
Getting
someone
up,
picks
looking
up
for something
Tickles,
for
she's
breakfast.
sleeping.
What's that, Caldross?
Looking for something for breakfast.
You walk out to like the common room of the cabin, and as soon as you think about breakfast, you smell fresh made oatmeal coming from the kitchen.
Got the kids here.
And there's just a hefty, like a hearty bowl just waiting for you.
Around to see if there's anybody around who made it.
Not a soul.
That's not creepy at all.
Eat the devil's oatmeal. Eat it.
I'm waiting for Caldross to figure out the alignment on the oatmeal.
It smells like a very fine spiced oatmeal.
Divine sense. No.
It's oatmeal. I mean,
Can I roll an
aside from
insight check on the oatmeal.
aside from the fiend a couple rooms down from you, there's nothing.
Oh, good. Rose is still okay. Wait.
Oatmeal is a mimic.
Oh god.
Like to detect evil, the oatmeal.
I get that half fiend ping. I'm like, oh, good. Rose is still okay. Wait. I'll eat it
Okay.
just slowly. Don't trust oatmeal from
Just
a
like
hag.
examining
Trust oatmeal
every
from a hag.
just like examining every spoonful, making sure there's like no shards of metal or anything in it.
Yeah.
Are there pieces of soul sitting in
I mean, soul can be a spice, right?
there?
Rose is awake. She's like it's hard to describe. I'm presuming like her bed is up against one of the walls or something like that. In, like her little tiny ass room or whatever.
I mean, if it wasn't, it is now. She probably would push it back during the night.
So she's kind of like doing the teenage girl thing where she's laying with her head hanging off of her bed and her like legs up against the wall. And she's just mindlessly twirling that black arrow.
Okay. And as you twirl the arrow in your hands, you can see like every now and then just very soft flakes of purple kind of like tear from the tip.
She would. She's a fucking psycho. She is going to take the arrow and she's not going to pierce her body with it, but she would put the tip against her finger every so often.
Okay. And every time you do, you feel like this agonizing pain begin to surge through that finger. And the longer that you hold it there, it begins to run down into your hands. You can see like the veins like under your skin become a little more visible as they begin to like pulse with like that purple light.
And she's like literally gonna do that until someone actually comes to get her.
Okay. So you're just gonna keep it there on your finger?
Well, no, I mean she's not gonna. She knows what it does, and she doesn't want to try and kill herself. But she's in a very interesting mindset at the moment. You know, I mean, this is really weird deja vu for her.
So
and there's a lot of emotions running through her mind right now.
Go ahead and give me a Arcana check.
Okay. This is odd. I think my Arcana is a +6, right? If it is, that's a dirty 20. Let me just double check. Is a +5, so it's a 19.
19. Just by judging from the pain and watching what it's doing to your hand and what it did to remnants of like a shadow road outside, you feel that if this were to legitimately pierce the flesh of anything of Fey origin, it has a high possibility of just erasing it from existence.
Interesting. With that 19, because of she's done arcane fletchery before, would she have the mindset to know whether or not this is something she could reproduce?
You know that it would take you hundreds of years of study just to be able to fletch a single arrow.
Alrighty. She won't hold it against her skin as often, but she's still gonna play with it.
Okay. Tickles, Tyrus, what are you guys doing?
I'm finally waking up.
Tears is going to wake up and go find food.
Okay. The same thing. The moment you walk out of your room in the cabin, you just smell this wonderful scent of oatmeal coming from the kitchen. Caldros, as you're sitting there eating, another bowl of oatmeal appears next to you. A little audible clink as the metal spoon kind of hits the side of the
I'm investigating what the contents of my spoon and just jump a little.
Poor paladin.
Don't trust food from a hag. Don't
Look
trust
at
food from a
Caldros
hag.
as I come out. Well, is breakfast evil?
It hasn't killed me yet.
Yes.
There's a shirt right there. We just eat a bowl of oatmeal. Is breakfast evil?
Just a little chibi Caldros crying over a spoonful of oatmeal.
Oh my god.
I'll just happily eat it. I mean, Caldros has been out here longer. If someone's going to die, he would have done it already.
Exactly. Wait, I don't know how I feel about that.
Both of you consume the oatmeal. No ill side effects seem to be taking hold of you.
I'm okay with this.
Tickles wanders out of her room. A few moments later, a little groggy. So, rested.
Pretty much. She's going to like sit down, just kind of like. Does the porridge or the oatmeal actually like manifest, I assume.
If you think about breakfast, yes, it will manifest.
Then she will do that.
All right, and as you kind of like take a seat next to the two of them, and you look over at the oatmeal, and you think, seems pretty good, and you just hear an audible clink as another bowl appears in front of you.
So she's just gonna be like, you know how you're very tired when you wake up, like, and she just like looks at it, and then she looks down to her bowl, and she's like, who do I shoot? Do I shoot anyone today?
Please, God, no.
No?
Are we good? We don't have to fight anyone yet?
Not that I'm aware of.
Day is still young.
Good.
Oh, Ash, where'd you come from?
I've been sitting over there the whole time with Zale. You guys were too rude to say good morning.
Zale was outside.
I forgot to mention that Tickles.
But you were outside,
by the way.
No, they're still in the cabin.
Never mind. I thought they went outside.
Well, we hear her somehow. And she's like, okay, good. All right. I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna go outside. And if I see a giant monster, I'm gonna shoot it.
Yeah, and you walk outside and you don't see any giant monsters, but you do see Zale and Ash kind of just like tearing into rabbits.
She's just gonna turn around and go back in the cabin. And she's like, don't go out there. Just whatever you do, don't go out there.
Are they massacring breakfast?
I see two cannibals out there just destroying a body.
Gonna
I assume you're referring
stand
to Ash
up
and
from
Zale.
the table, grab my shield and sword, and I'm gonna walk outside.
Go get him. You got
See
this.
what
Calvin.
Tickles was actually meaning. God damn it, Tickles! Go back in.
I wasn't lying. It was two cannibals. They're devouring a body.
I think they're awake.
Hi,
Really,
Ash.
I couldn't
Hi,
tell.
Zale.
Good morning.
It's not like they're loud in the morning at all.
No, that's very true.
I don't really know. Is she loud? Yeah, she's loud. That's true. Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
You guys want some rabbit?
I'm gonna pass.
It's really good.
It's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a no from me.
More for us?
Terrace, Caldros. It's Rose in there somewhere.
You got two hind legs to spare?
I'm good.
Me or the rabbit?
Yeah, not
There's-
yours, Zale. Not yours.
Well, there's
I think
one.
it's yours.
I thought he meant mine too.
Yeah.
And just like with the first, very unceremoniously, grab the torso of the rabbit, grab the leg, just kind of toss it over at Caldros.
Catch it. Gonna activate radiant consumption.
What does radiant consumption do?
That's the Scourge ASMR.
But what does it do?
Here, fine. Just do
You
the
just
card.
like it goes in poof and then just goes into your body type of thing.
Starting at third
Yeah.
level, you can use your action and unleash divine energy within yourself, causing your searing light to radiate from you, poured out of your eyes and mouth, and threaten to char you. Your transformation lasts 1 minute, or until the end as a bonus, or until you end as a bonus action. During it, you shed a bright light within a 10-foot radius and a dim light for another 10 feet. At the beginning of each of your turns, you and each creature within 10 feet of you take radiant damage equal to half your level, rounded up. In addition, once on each of your turns, you can deal extra radiant damage to one target when you deal damage to it with an attack or spell.
Basically
That's-
cooking the damn thing.
You're cooking the entire room, sir.
You guys aren't 10 feet from me, so don't worry about it.
I mean, I could have just made a fire. This is okay.
Don't bother.
Someone
It's
said
fine.
fire. I can make a bonfire.
Okay, just so you know, you can't use that trait until you finish a long rest now.
Hey, I keep trying to ramp up to it in fights, and I keep having my targets die before I get to that particular point. So
I feel your pain. Don't worry. The two fighters in the
So
group.
instead of igniting my enemies with, you know, the flames of my rage, I'm gonna cook this leg.
I'm gonna cook my
Sorry, I just
breakfast.
shoot things.
I mean, he has a point.
I was also useless.
Okay. So as you're doing that, you guys are seeing like the grass around him kind of get a little charred. And the side of the cabin is a little it's kind of like getting almost like an outline, like a shadow outline of him on the side of its wall. Tears, how long are you holding this for?
I'm not.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Caldros. How
just long enough to sear the leg.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So 4 rounds.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So you're gonna take 24 points of
I'm going to take
damage?
12 because I'm resistant.
yep,
to
because you're
radiant.
resistant. So you're gonna take 12 points of damage.
I'm gonna look at the wall. Oh, I'm gonna have to scrub that later.
Still think that was unnecessary.
Flashy though.
It was pretty cool. Is Tyrus up in there?
Yeah, he's at the tip. Tyrus!
Well,
Tyrus, do you want some rabbit?
I'm good. I'm good.
It's fresh.
I mean,
I'm
when you're done
prob-
eating, come out.
I'm aware it's probably fresh.
I just love how they're trying to thrust the freshness on everyone else. It's great.
I mean, it's organic.
Free range.
Mm-hmm.
Like grass fed too.
So, what are we doing now? Like, do I shoot things or?
Well,
Not yet.
I think
Okay.
the plan is to have breakfast and then set out towards Malorsic.
Mm-hmm.
Why does that
Just want to
sound
make
like-
sure that he still wants to do that. That's all.
As your conversation is going on, the red hag comes into view, walking in, leading it's like a chestnut brown horse in by its barding. Oh, good, you're up. Ash, did you have any chance to think over the deal?
I still need some time, to be honest. This is a pretty big decision, so I just need some more time, if that's all right.
Well, yes. Well, the deal stands as long as you are within the forest.
Well, we're going to Malorsic, so I'll be here for a while.
You're probably going to want to decide on that deal before you step out to the Malorsic. I'm sorry to put a rush on you, but it is a rather important transaction.
It is indeed. All right.
Is there anything I can do to put any concerns you have to rest?
Well, other than making sure that you're truthful, of course. Like we mentioned the other day, forgive us, we've just had very bad experiences with all hags.
Oh, you don't have to apologize. Others of my, species can be a bit on evil side.
Yeah, that's for
A
sure.
bit.
But anything I can do to prove to you that I only have mutual interests in mind.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
I would be willing to submit to a zone of truth if any of you have one.
I look back at the group.
I point at the paladin.
Hold on a second. I actually might. but while I'm looking for that,
What level
can
spell is that?
yeah, I don't think I actually have that.
Really? None of you have Zone of Truth? Surprised.
Can Molly know Zone of Truth? I don't think she can.
Druids do not
Yep.
normally get it.
Actually,
Unfortunately.
I can if I prepare it.
Yep, Zone of Truth, second level enchantment, Bard, Cleric, and Paladin.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can
I
have it
have that.
if I prepare it, which it's still morning. I guess I could prepare it.
Sure. I'd allow that because you've just been eating your breakfast.
While I'm at it, could I do some sort of check, either religion, history, or whatever, due to my order, to see if I've had any feelings towards red hags specifically imparted upon me by my order, like whether or not they're generally more trustworthy and helpful.
Sure. You can give me a history roll on that one.
Okay, 22. Wait,
22?
Yeah, 22.
They're more akin to helping people than most tags are. While they still can be evil in nature, they aren't really like your typical run-of-the-mill night hag or anything of that sort. Though you do know them as practitioners of blood magic.
Do I know them to try to twist deals? Obviously, they will always try to twist deals in their favor, but specifically to be unfavorable for the other party?
They tend to, like, when they make deals, they tend to keep them as even as possible if they look favorably on the person they're making the deal with. Out of all of the hags, they're more... They may even live in small remote communities from time to time, serving as advisors or local healers.
All right. Well, I can provide a zone of truth if you would like, Ash. I can also tell you from what I've learned of hags from my order in the past that she is right. Red hags do tend to be a bit more forthcoming and generally helpful.
That's very good to know.
It's a tendency, it's not a rule.
Right. Is there a limit on how many questions I can ask?
Let me pull up the spell card here real quick.
It lasts for 10 minutes.
Oh, so it's that whole...
Yeah, you create a
duration.
magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot sphere centered on a point of your choice. Until the spell ends, creatures that enter the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, the creature can't speak a deliberate lie while in its radius. You'll know whether each creature succeeds or fails its saving throw. An affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such creatures can be evasive in its answers as long as it remains within the boundaries of truth.
All right, so with that knowledge, I will tell Ash not to. Actually, I'll just repeat. Ash, when I cast this, don't accept anything but a straight answer. And also, here, stand back, and I'm gonna get everybody outside of the 15-foot radius of the hag.
And she ties her horse to a hitching post, and she walks over and just summons up a small wooden chair that she sits in with like her legs crossed and her hands in her lap.
Okay, and everybody's outside of the 15-foot radius?
Yes, she's intentionally spaced herself out so nobody else who would want to be in the circle would have to be.
All right, and I'll nod to her. Are you ready?
Whenever you are.
All right, and I'll go ahead and cast the spell.
Right. And as soon as you cast the spell, you can see that her eyes flash for a moment, giving you the sign that she is now under the effects of the circle.
Okay, so in other words, she didn't resist at all.
She willingly accepted it, as she said she would.
Well, she's under the effects. Go ahead, Ash. You've got 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, I guess I could ask the obvious that whole deal that you mentioned the other day about where we came from, our prosperity and our land and our protection, all of that was true, and it was not a way for you to alter it or at least make it seem like pretty words, but really meant something else if it was all truthful.
It was 100% true. You exchanged the books for me, and I will give you information that is equally as valuable. The reason why I know where your homeland is from is because I originate from there.
You mentioned that Felok would flourish and that we would go back to our golden days, as it were. Does that mean that we will flourish and not destroy the lands that were up there, like the people in it?
That would be up to whoever is ruling Felok at the time. My promise only guarantees that Felok will flourish. How the ruler decides to deal with it is up to them.
And this is something you would do for all eternity as long as my bloodline is still flourishing?
Oh, your bloodline doesn't even need to flourish. I can ensure years, centuries, spanning across generations, whatever you need it to. But yes, Felok can flourish. Felok can once again become more than just a simple spider silk trading town.
And does that also apply to non-vampire family members?
Family is family. If you have non-vampire family members, then they too would be considered under the protection.
Would you use the books for evil?
Not intentionally, no.
What do you mean not intentionally?
Well, good and evil are opinions that vary from person to person. I would not intentionally commit an act of evil using the knowledge I gain. But some may view anything that I do from them.
Do you plan destruction and death and genocide or anything of that sort from them?
My dear, I am one with nature. I plan the exact opposite. To do something like that would go against my druidic code.
So you are desperate for these books more for power than destruction?
More for knowledge and keeping them out of the hands of those who would seek them for destruction.
You have no desire to use these against us in the future.
Why would I do that? I consider you friends.
Is there anything else I should ask you guys that I'm missing?
Do you mind if I ask a few questions myself?
Anyone can ask me whatever they need. Anything that will put your suspicions of me to rest.
Go for Zale.
have you ever intentionally betrayed someone that you made a promise to?
Never. My word is a bond that I do not break.
Okay. Ash here has been carrying hag tomes with her for quite a while, and we have seen firsthand the kind of corruption that hags can spread. With your knowledge of the power of hags, is it possible that Ash's perspective has been corrupted on any level by these tomes?
Perspective
Even
of what?
more so by the one she has been reading. It's perspective of the world, of everything, of
anytime,
friendship, of family, of power.
Anytime anyone opens and begins to read the words of a tome written by a hag, there is a very large chance that they can become corrupted in some way.
So you're saying that the possibility exists that Ash may be influenced by her reading of the tome to perhaps accept power that she might otherwise deny?
At the moment, I sense no corruption from her in the hag sense. Though if she were to continue reading the tomes, I can almost guarantee that she would turn into one of us.
I see.
Not to take away from the mood, but I wonder if it would be a blood hag because of what I am.
It would not, dear. Blood hags are natural.
Ugh.
You would be looking more at, given the way that you are, more than likely a night hag.
Oh. No, because that's what we fought last night. Ugh. Good to know.
Ash, I understand how enticing this deal must sound, but I have to wonder, given all the power and ability that your father has, if he wanted Felok to flourish more than he does, wouldn't he have done so already?
He doesn't. He's burdened by guilt.
Guilt of his past?
Guilt of his past actions, past failures.
And what do you know of my father's guilt and actions?
I know much of your family. I even know of your grandfather and his father.
Ooh, there's an interesting question.
I doubt she would even know this, but why not? Do you know where my grandfather's phylactery is?
I do not know the specific location, though if I were to guess, given the fact that Vincent is a suspicious and mistrusting sort, it would be close to him at all times.
That's actually what I was thinking too. Darn it. Yeah, that was my thought too.
A phylactery can be many things, am I correct?
Oh, yes. It can range from a grand statue to a mere teacup. All it need be is an item that is prepared and enchanted to hold the soul of a lich.
Do you happen to know what his is?
I do not.
Why is my father guilty?
It's not that he is guilty. It is he feels guilty.
From what exactly?
Well, betrayal of his people the fact that he had to imprison a father, that he's had to lie to his children all this time about who he is. Your father is a great man, but in the eyes of some of the other vampires, what he's done in his youth is unforgivable.
Because he hunted his own?
Not that he hunted his own, but he joined those who hunt.
I suspected as much.
He views it as, well, a necessary evil. But he carries that burden to this day.
You don't know why when he has everything he wants.
He does not.
Given that some of his own people have that opinion of him, would the expansion of Felok not just invite the ire of other vampires?
It may. But if they wanted to move against him, they would have ordered so.
But the Felok flourishes, he becomes more of a target.
Not just from other vampires either. If other city-states see expansion in the north, they might try to put a stop to it.
Your father decides to rule. There are others in line who can take that mantle.
Well, my brother is supposed to be taking that at some point, though he's still pretty young. But that's up to my father. But I'm not pure, so he wouldn't pass it to me anyway, but I'm also not firstborn, so that's fine.
Purity has no hold on you. If that was the case, he would have never taken a human as a wife.
He did love my mother. Anyone else?
Say Ash does take this deal. When you at some point meet your end, does this not open up those who have been under your protection and under your influenced fortune? Does this not paint a larger target on their backs?
Well, there is always risk. But my natural lifespan is not even close to being over. And if I were to, say, ascend into the title of the next Yaga, I would then achieve, in a means, immortality.
Yeah. I don't think I have any more questions right now.
For whatever it's worth, Ash, I believe that this witch, hag, whatever she is, does speak her truth and does intend to help you, but the best of intentions don't always have the best of results. As you recall, it was my best intentions for my people that led to Yith being taken and the near destruction of Daggertree. It was the best intentions of Arcastus that led to the near extinction of my people. Oftentimes, help from the powerful, like this individual here, brings consequences that, well, they don't have the best intentions.
Well, let me just say that I thank you for cooperating and being truthful. I do appreciate that.
Real quick, over the Marble Network to everyone, I'm going to be like, should we maybe try to ask her about some of our larger goals that she might be aware of, like aiding with the downfall of the Fey court?
You mean the prophecy that is supposedly fake? This would be the time to ask her since we've been misled.
Rose would have heard that too.
I say go ahead and ask her, because if we've been tricked, I want to know what we're getting into.
Do you mind if we switch topics really quick?
The floor is yours. As I see, we have maybe 5 minutes left on your spell.
Sounds about right. We have been told that there is a larger picture that we've only just now come to see about the Fey court barring out the gods, trying to remain in power so that they can hold their court for as long as they want. We've also been told that there's ways to end that, potentially, to fight it.
You speak of the so-called story.
Yes.
It's all a lie.
And what proof do you have of that?
On my person, nothing. So, I have gone through multiple quote-unquote tellings of said story. And let me tell you, every one of them ends with a certain side of the courts taking power. The stories of the so-called chosen heroes who will decide the fates of the land to save them from, to save their gods of old, to fight these liches, are nothing more than to give power to one side of the courts or another.
So what happens if we stop the liches? Is that still giving them a certain balance of power to one side over the other?
No, the liches have nothing to do with the telling. The liches are their own thing. They are nothing more than a red herring.
And what do we need to do since we've seen proof of power dwindling in this world?
Oh, that's
from their war.
That is 100% true. They hold enough. They now hold enough sway over this realm in order to shut out the other gods, to where those who wish to worship somebody in power worship them in one way, shape, or form. You have, well, one choice if you wish to end this pathetic cycle.
Kill the queen.
And everyone
think.
else.
I can do that.
You
That's
need
genocide.
No, it is not genocide, as they are just...
They're just people.
They're just high fae who believe themselves gods. They've told the story enough to where they buy into their own.
There have been those amongst them that have proven themselves friends. Maybe beneficial to them,
liars.
but
those so-called friends of yours, they're all from the summer court, are they not?
I don't know, somebody tell me.
I look over at Molly and I give her a concerned look.
They are using you.
Well, I'm sure everybody's trying to use us
For if they win, the summer court reigns until the next telling. If they lose, well, the night or the winter court holds dominance. Either way, they grow in power.
So we would have to kill their leaders and more.
You would
in
need
order
to banish
set back
them.
a balance.
Killing
Banish
them-
them.
Killing them, I only want the head of one of them. You can banish them, seal off the Fey roads.
How do we do that?
Oh, Rose.
You would need an item of, first off, you would need to get them off of this plane. And then you need an item of immense power to seal the Shadow Roads.
But
And
there's
what
so
about
many.
all the people that rely on the Shadow Roads just to live their everyday life?
They would have a choice to make. As those from the Shadow Roads are not naturally from this plane. They have been able to make their homes here due to the infiltration of the courts.
That sounds like a very powerful item that we need to find, and I'm pretty sure that's not just lying about somewhere.
No, but I know where it is at.
Would you help us in finding it then?
I can tell you exactly where it's at. I can tell you who has it.
And this is your way of helping us so the pettiness can stop?
This is my means of helping you stop being puppets. Because that is what either side of these courts see you as. Puppets. Either you help them in fighting their war, or you die at the hands of the liches, or whatever other insane task that they have you do.
What if we just don't?
They fight their war, one side wins, and they continue dominance.
If
But either
we-
way, no matter which side of the court, they still,
Win.
at least as far as you're saying, as far as you believe, obviously, no matter which side is in power, they still block out the old gods.
Correct.
They still run it as if it's their show.
Correct.
This is affecting your husband too, Tickles.
Yep.
This is affecting a great many people.
Time to kill some people.
if
Point me in the right
we
direction.
eliminate the court, both sides, I mean kill, not banish, there would not be a need to seal the Shadow Roads, correct?
Well, they are archfey. They do not die. They would be reborn, as most things eternal do.
So what we
But
do?
it
Just
would
throw them in a
take-
different dimension?
It would take time for them to
Oh,
regain their power,
indeed.
would it not?
Indeed. But when they did regain their power, there is a chance that the story may come back around.
So who has this item? And where?
A collector.
So Guardians of the Galaxy.
Do you know how much do I know how much time is left on the spell?
Well, you don't know how much time is directly left on the scope. But if you're asking
But
her, you can ask, if you're asking her that, you can. Like, she can give you a rundown.
No, on the spell.
On the
Zone of
spell,
Truth.
The
you've
zone of
got
truth. He
you've
wants to know
got
how
maybe
long.
about 2 minutes left on the zone.
We are running short on truth-telling time. Assured
If-
truth-telling time.
If you need, I will give you a scroll to cast it again. If you do not feel as if I am trustworthy.
This then we must hurry.
Actually, you've done fairly well. But this is a matter of great importance to us.
Where's this collector?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Where's this collector?
He's north, back in Yeth's neck of the woods, I guess you could say.
In where neck of the woods?
Not Yeth, Zale's neck of the woods.
In
Dagger Tree?
Dagger Tree or the desert?
In the Central Kingdom. He is an interesting and eccentric fellow. Used to be a beholder, now lich himself.
Oh, I look
Oh,
directly at
no.
Zale.
I believe I am acquainted with this individual, actually.
Someone else that you have a deal with as well, Zale? Eyebrow wiggle.
I mean, I'm going to give him a book. That's not really much of an issue.
Baladros is gonna sit down and just bang his head on his knee slowly.
It's in the depths of his museum, I guess you could call it.
Now, I don't know if the name he gave me is his actual name, but
What is he going by
believe-
these days?
it is Zanzarok.
Oh, his real name. He must like you.
We had a civil discussion.
Well, he is civil until he doesn't get what he wants, and then he throws a tantrum like most children.
I got that sense.
Huh. Well,
But
that's coincidental.
he holds the key. He does not know what it is. He just liked it because it's beautiful.
What is this
Well-
item specifically?
Thank you.
It's a cylinder.
Like a
About
case?
not necessarily a scroll case, but more of attuned to a children's puzzle where you line up different runes on the sides and then you can open the top. Normally,
Oh, it's,
normally with those, there are gifts inside. The gift inside the cylinder is a key. A dimensional anchor, to be exact. With it, you can open, shut, lock, seal any gate, any pathway, any doorway into another plane of existence.
I have a question for you then.
Yes?
Do you have a means for them to not be able to see us, hear us?
I have nothing that would be able to get through his all-seeing eye.
Well,
If you
his, but I meant the Fae Court. They are, I suppose, keeping tabs on us
when
as
they
we are playing
can,
their little story.
they peer in on Rose. The rest of you, they don't really. Rose, on the other hand, they need to make an example.
Yeah, well, we intend to stop that as well.
As you should, as any friend should.
But you don't have a means to block that from happening. At the very least, the spying.
I do. I can,
But
much like Zale, I can shield Rose from their sight.
the rest of us, in case they decide to start looking at the other party members.
I only have the one.
Over the marble. Rose.
Yes.
How would you like to stop being peeped on? by the Fey court, those who would do you harm and have tried.
You found a way to stop me from being scryed by a god.
Our new friend here has offered the possibility.
At what price?
She hasn't said yet. I thought that would be something you might want to discuss if you were interested in.
Something to consider.
And I'll turn back to the no. I'll turn back to the hag and say real quick. Well, I've made her aware that the potential is there. If she wants to make that kind of deal, she
Oh, there's no deal.
talk to you.
I will willingly give it to her. She and I already have a deal. I consider this insurance that she'll have a chance to complete her end of the bargain.
Oh, that's right.
And as she says that, you see just the zone of truth fade away. And like the yellow sheen in her eyes fade off.
Well, that's time, everyone.
I'm still happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Don't throw me in that zone of truth.
Oh, that would have been an awesome reason to put tickles. Now, okay, next time.
I will shoot
And
you.
she reaches
Make sure
in-
you prepare that again tomorrow.
She reaches into like a satchel on her side, and she pulls out a scroll, and she just like holds it up. If you wish, I have a scroll you can cast it from right now.
I immediately walk back.
I mean, I have more castings available to me, but I was done with my questions. Anybody else?
I actually have a personal question, if you don't mind.
Of course.
Even more curious to hear your answer now that you can speak freely. I have reason to believe that the woman that gave me both this necklace and my sight back was one of your kin. Do you know her?
And she softly smiles. And she waves her hand, and she turns into that old woman.
Motherfucker! Sorry.
I had my suspicions when you brought up the topic of giving one of these to Rose. I thank you for confirming them.
You've been one of my interests for a while.
Oh, Zale. Your double sight thing. Maybe she can fix it.
Zale, do it. Zale,
Double
do it.
sight?
I don't know if I want it fixed, actually.
She can see into the astral plane, and she's going crazy sometimes.
I'm not.
You most certainly were.
She
at
was
least for a while
actually-
there.
I
She
was
was
a
taken
little
into the plane,
alarmed.
Zale. You were
I
taken
was a
away
little alarmed at the start.
by
but
children. You said the creepy little light shadow children things sucked you in,
Yes.
and Rose had to save your ass.
However, that hasn't happened recently, so
Yeah, okay, it's only a matter of time.
We
Until
would
it
prefer
catches
not
up
to
to
happen
you.
again.
everything catches up with us eventually.
Don't get
Oh, you-
metaphorical. You know what she means.
I'm being very literal.
Oh yes, so am I. You piqued the interest of something.
I would be surprised if I didn't.
You wish? I do have a concoction that would remove that,
Yes, please.
but it is up to you.
I am content to live with it for now.
Very well.
Can you give it to us just in case she changes her mind? Because you know she's going to change her mind.
I cannot. Unless I hear it from her lips, I cannot give you the item.
If I want it removed, I will do it myself.
You're not removing your eyesight.
Also, I offered to use one of my blessings to remove the curse, and she was scared that it would remove her sight from her. Do you know if that would have actually happened?
It's a possibility.
Strong possibility.
Yes. Zale carries with her a multitude of curses.
It's a very delicate balance.
One being that if removed, she would not be the Zale you see before you.
What's that? Zale, what's that mean?
It's a complicated story involving some fey creatures at a little girl's house. And, well, several other things that happened after that. Needless to say, I was very, very different when we started this adventure.
I look at Ash. What does she mean?
She used to be a boy.
What?
And a lot shorter as well.
Yes, I believe that were that curse removed, you would also lose a title that garners you much respect.
Yes. So you see why I'm so apprehensive about being anywhere near a curse removal spell or concoction. I understand everyone's concerns, but if I thought I was in over my head, I would distance the danger from all of you.
Well, we are all in over our heads.
Well, more than normal, I mean.
That's an understatement. TUES, dear, you've been so quiet this time. I would assume you had questions.
Muted.
Question 1, can you give him his voice back?
No. Not
Cheers.
really.
Again, do you want the zone of truth again?
I don't see a need of it.
Okay.
I don't really have any questions. If most of my memories will return once the bell is rung in the town center, in Malorsik, that should cover basically anything I need to know.
Speaking of Malorsik, it's best that you prepare yourself now. It is less of the remnants of a town and more a festering wasteland.
Good.
But yes, ringing that bell at the well, or at the fountain, or whatever it was, should at least put those who are still there to rest and unlock anything that may be hidden away. As for your form, unfortunately, that is not part of the curse.
No, this was the doing of some mages who, I think all of them are dead. That is a question I do have. Are all of them dead?
The mages?
The ones who did this.
Oh, dead or scattered. The ones who did that to you. Those ones specifically, yes, are dead. But
okay.
Those who are not allies. Companions, maybe, of them. Those who survived the cataclysm that struck Omiroska a little over a year ago have scattered. Not out of necessity, but out of fear.
I mean, I don't tend to hunt down everyone associated with them. That's how wars get started.
Omiroska is in a very vulnerable state at the moment.
Well, that's mostly their own fault, so.
Unfortunately, the fault of the royal family and general populace.
No, I really don't have anything that concerns me beyond that.
I actually just thought of something, and it's probably completely irrelevant, but just thinking. I was thinking about what you said about the Fae trying to pit us over one over the other, specifically the Summer Court. One of them is whom we heard these news from. We'll have to talk to him at some point, but this is also the same person who bestowed the gift to my husband. And I wanted to assure that it was just out of him being loyal and going on this path that he had chosen for himself, and not some sort of trick or curse that will come back to haunt him later. And that was his gift to live as long as me. In his chest.
He was given a briar heart.
Yes.
No, that was no trick. That is a sign of... It's a badge of honor to be in his service.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
That's... blessing will end if the gates are closed.
Really?
Yes. I did not want you to act on something and then have it come out as a surprise if I was able to give you the information. If you seal the gates, shut the roads, do whatever you need to do to the courts, the blessing of the Briar Heart will cease.
Really?
Is there no way to obtain something of similar effect for him?
I know a way.
He would have to impress another one of great power. Maybe not a Fae, but some other being that has the ability to extend the lifeblood of mortals.
That is very good to know. And she walks off into the forest.
Is there anything else I can assist any of you with?
I think you've given a lot of us a lot to think about for a while.
I do not enjoy being the bearer of bad news.
Well, at least we know that someone was being honest, if even only from their perspective.
I wish there was another way, but the decisions are up to you. If you wish to stop them from continuing the play with the lives of the people of this world, of this plane, in order to only extend their own power, I've given you the information and the means to prevent it. So I can leave you with one other piece of information. Or not information, but a suggestion. Do not trust anything that comes from the mouths of anyone of either courts, as it may hold truth. They only mean to manipulate you for their own ends. They will use whatever means necessary to do so, be it promises of power, whispers of love, promises that a new beginning will happen if the other side falls. It is all just one wicked trick to ensure they come out on top in this telling.
Actually, I do have one last question if you're willing to entertain it.
I have nothing but time.
The Grove Mother, the one that originally told us this story, she didn't seem to have any interest or affiliation with either side of the court. If we shut the gates, would her boons fail as well?
The Grove Mother is nothing more than a servant of the Forest Lord, of the Bear King. She was set there to guide you on the path of the story, as she always is. It starts with her, and it ends with one side claiming dominance over the other. The players in the story, their lives are all up in the air. Nothing you do in it is important. It's a means to sow chaos and distraction while both sides get ready to make their move.
When we met with her, she gave me something that was magically quite powerful. I had intended to use it to help Yith, but I ended up not needing it. We instead used it to seed an oasis in the Mirage Desert. If we shut the gates, should we expect that oasis to die?
It would. As it is Fey magic, everything would reset.
I must have my people begin preparing for that then.
What would happen to, say, a friend Faye that was on the side? What would happen to Rose if the gate should close?
Rose is no longer Fae. She has been cast out. And I think with
All
that,
right, cool. We're just leaving it at that. All right.
I think with that, we are going to take our first break for the night, guys. So go ahead and stick with us. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, get up, stretch your legs, get something to drink, and we will be back shortly.
Had a lot of out of character response.
And we are back.
Maybe I should have buried that dog out back.
Okay.
What did you say about Zale's sister?
She's a beautiful lady.
That's a surprise, because Zale doesn't have a sister.
Oh,
That you know of.
then who did I have sex with?
I mean, that's fair. She has a brother
Whoa.
she knows of.
Well, apparently you can just become boy or girl as long as you get the right curse.
Fucking phase, man.
Fey magic.
Respect.
Fey magic.
Fey magic.
She was also made to wear a dress at the time. It's
Yep.
Faye.
Because it was a ceiling tea party.
Yeah, it was.
Was it a
Now,
pink dress? I
see.
keep forgetting.
I knew
Probably.
that out of character, but it like Caldros had no
I think
idea,
that's
so
the
I
first
just
time
had to
Caldros
push it.
has heard it.
Yeah.
I think so.
Like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you speak.
What?
Everyone's
So-
just come to accept it at this point, so it doesn't get talked about very much anymore.
Everyone is still outside of the cabin, aside from Rose, who is still in her room pouting.
She's not pouting.
I'm sorry, brooding.
Brooding. Hello.
I would like to take
She's
just
being
a
a
moment
bitch.
to say how sad I am that Mags isn't here right now so that I can see what Molly's reaction to all this would have been.
That's okay. It just means next week when she comes back at the start of the session, we get to be like, so Magpie, about, your character.
About Tanner.
Yeah.
What a shame. So, what are we doing?
Well, she's still standing there waiting to see if anyone else has any questions.
I got nothing.
Are we going to encounter any more hags along the way?
There most definitely is a chance of that, especially if Ash continues to carry the tomes. They are sort of, well, a hag magnet.
I personally say get rid of those things.
Ash isn't here right now.
Please leave a message after the beep.
Only Zool.
There is no Ash, only Zool.
That's
Oh,
what
I-
happens if she keeps reading the tomes.
Yep.
I read it one time. Wasn't a fan of it.
I don't have any more questions for our host here, but while we're waiting for Ash and Rose to finish whatever it is they're doing, I actually would like to speak to you for a moment, Tickles.
I didn't do it.
Well, if you need me, I'll be over here. But don't leave if you're ready to go. I'll have Jeremy escort you.
Who?
Jeremy.
Who?
Okay.
As she just walks away.
Well, that's not ominous.
She'll be fine.
Thanks, I guess, for everything. Yeah. Okay. Should I go check on Ash or Rose first?
I think somebody should check on Ash and somebody else should check on Rose.
Well, not all, walk at once.
I think I'll see about Ash.
Tyrus, do you want to go check in on Rose while I speak with Tickles for a moment?
Am I the right choice for this?
You're kind of the only choice at this point.
Default.
Well, I mean, I did try to check in with Rose over the marbles.
We
and
already know if you had a choice to talk to freaking Rose. You were like, no.
It's like the
See,
Kinda got-
parents flipping a
kind of
coin.
got brick walled there.
It's kind of like the parents having to flip a coin to see who's going to talk to the awkward child.
No, it's just Rose and Tyrus don't do heart to heart at any point.
She'll open up to you, Tyrus. Just be strong and confident with your words.
And that works so well with Faye all the time.
Just make sure that she knows she doesn't have a choice in the matter, that you are the one in command. That'll work. There you go. All right.
I look at Calderos. Is delusional part of the prerequisite for your order?
Smirk. All right. I'm going that way.
Okay. I think we'll go with Tyrus and Rose first. Tyrus, you find yourself.
I just stuffed my face, so this is good.
You find yourself outside the bedroom of Rose. The door is still shut.
I kind of heavy-handedly knock on the door. Rose?
Yes. Is it time to leave?
Almost, I think. Ash has wandered off elsewhere to think, I think.
Did something happen?
Yes. Also, how are you Fae but not Fae?
Excuse me.
Apparently you're no longer considered Fae because you were disowned, thrown out.
What the court chooses to see me as is their business.
No, that's according to the hag.
Again, what the court chooses to see me as is their business.
Either way, we're probably going to be leaving soon. And I think we're trying to get everybody together. I don't know. Someone was going to look for Ash.
Again, what is happening with Ash?
So apparently something about closing the shadow roads and all the Fae basically getting sent elsewhere and all Fae magic wearing off at that point. So the Briar Heart in her husband's chest, the Oasis in Dagger Tree, things like that. And apparently they need to think a little more about this entire issue. On the upside, we had the hag sit willingly in a zone of truth while you've been in here.
Did you ask her her true name?
No, no one did.
Sad. Which way did Ashton go?
That is a very good question. Did Tyrus actually notice?
Give me a perception roll.
Oh, Lord. I think Tyrus has gotten so used to Ash just wandering off temporarily that he stopped paying attention. Yes, he stopped paying attention. With a whole 8. I don't rightfully know, but you seem to be able to track her down better than anyone, so...
I'll be out in a moment.
All right. They just told me to come find you. They didn't tell me to drag you out kicking and screaming.
I mean, technically you did.
Yes,
Zoro.
but Tyrus knows better than to listen.
I meant Zoro's comment in chat. She ran away from home.
I mean, it's not the first time or last time.
All right.
We're used to it.
Caldros, can you give me a perception roll to see if you can locate Ash?
Are you sure you don't want to give me a chance to roll survival?
You could roll survival if you're trying to track down Ash.
Yes.
Well, there's something I was gonna do, so.
Okay, what were you?
18. She can let her do what she wants to do because she's had plenty of time to do something.
Yeah, no, because of past experiences with the group, because I knew this would happen exactly. I bamf into a bat and fly away to a secluded
knew
area
that
so
was
no one
gonna
can catch up to me.
Okay. So
I see the tracks. I see the tracks end. Fuck. And I walk back.
Way to give up on me, man.
I'm not a ranger.
Just let me know. I'll sniff her out.
That's why we have a rose.
So as soon as Tyrus is walking out of the cabin, Caldros is coming back from the clearing, or where the clearing ends.
There were tracks that went about 15 feet into the tree line there, and then they just stopped.
So you're telling me you lost her?
Yeah.
Right. Well, Rose will be out shortly.
Just let me know when you're coming out, Rose.
Like maybe like because she has to put on real armor, so like 10 minutes or so after Tyrus leaves her.
So probably about like 8 or 9 minutes later, after that conversation happens, Rose comes walking out of the cabin, and Cal, you notice that there's a bit something off about her. The horns that are on her head have grown a little bit longer than you saw the previous night.
Do I smell brimstone?
Adventure K 298, thank you for the follow. Do you still smell brimstone?
Do I smell brimstone?
Oh, you smell brimstone. Just that faint hint of brimstone.
Well, that clears that up.
So she comes out and she like surveys like the party, and she goes, "Which way did she go?"
Tracks in that way.
And Rose just starts walking in that direction.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a survival check.
Okay, it's my bonus. Survival. Oh, that's right. It's good. It's one of my good ones. Blah. That was a crap roll. That's a 13. Sadly.
13? It takes you a little bit to find her. You wander into the woods about a good 45 minutes. Featherfall T, is it Featherfault or Featherfall TT? Thank you for the raid, Raiders. Welcome on in.
All right, ours.
Welcome.
Okay, so what you're telling me is I have 45 minutes to do my own thing.
Yep. So
okay.
Within that 45 minutes of you going off into the woods and turning into a pouty bat and flying off, What is Ash doing?
I am finding a nice secluded little area, making sure that no one has followed me. And I'm going to slump up against a tree and using my marble, I'm going to contact my father. But of course it's not an open channel, it's a direct channel.
It's a DM.
It is, yeah. Good morning, Father. I hope I'm not disturbing you.
Oh, Snow Lily, what? This is a surprise. What's wrong?
Well, long story short, some of my important stuff was taken, and we're trying to find a way to get it back. So I have other means of contacting you and seeing you, but for right now, time is sort of the essence. So, we were tricked, as it were, by the Fae Court about all the circumstances I mentioned before, about the fate in the world and blah, blah, blah. The truth is, we were able to find out, is that it doesn't matter, apparently, if we kill grandfather or not, but I still would like to, and I know you don't want me to, and I still intend to keep that promise. But after learning your secrets and talking to a red hag, she made a hell of a deal, Father, that I am not sure I want to do after learning more about you, to be honest. That you apparently feel shunned or abandoned by your own kind for being a hunter. Is that true?
I am not proud to admit that, but it's less that I feel shunned as I am shunned. By joining the hunters when I did, and working with them until I was able to imprison your grandfather, I broke many of our people's codes.
And you feel guilt because of that?
It was a necessary evil, but yes, I do feel guilt for having to go to those extremes. I could have left it in the capable hands of the hunters, but I felt as if it fell on me to take care of it myself.
Well, I mean, it was grandfather. It was personal to his family.
Yes. And while some did understand that, there were those in the older generation, those in your grandfather's generations, that saw it as a slight against our people.
Do you want to be recognized by our kind again?
What I want is no longer important.
Well, you can't just leave it on that, Father. Now I'm curious. What is it that you want?
I am an old dog, my dear. It is time for your brother or you to step forward and take command of this family.
So do you want to retire?
It's less retire and more step out of the light, per se.
Do you feel like you have too many eyes on you?
No, I am, as the humans say, too old for this shit.
How would you feel if Felloc flourished and back to its glory days, and maybe even find a way to reconnect where we originally came from.
I think that would be a move to benefit you and your brother and the generations to come. Belloc is a shadow of what it used to be. We weren't always just a town full of spider silk traders.
Do you want it to flourish again?
It would be the right decision to have it flourish again. As I said, what I want is not important.
It is important. Father, you deserve to be happy.
Then allow me to be happy with the decisions made by my children. By the next generation to take over and help this kingdom flourish.
Why do you carry this guilt after so many centuries, Father? You have us. Do you have everything you need?
It is not about material possessions. While I did this, I blackened my own honor. I went against everything that I was taught as a boy, out of pride. I could not stand to see your grandfather succeed and put a black mark on our family name. It was not about doing what was right. It was doing what I wanted.
But in a way it was right. You stopped it for many centuries.
That was just a lucky coincidence.
Is there any way I can help? Maybe I can help reclaim your honor by maybe me finishing the job.
No. My honor, a black mark on it, is mine to carry. What you do in your life, the decisions that you make, those will be your choice and influenced by your feelings. Not by something made for an old dog.
When we were born, were you at least happy with your life, despite everything?
The births of both you and your brother were some of the happiest days of my life. You two are honestly the bright spots that I can still look towards. The estates, our power, our wealth, those are meaningless.
And you loved Mother?
There isn't anything I wouldn't do if it guaranteed me 5 more minutes to see her.
I know how you feel. I just wish you didn't carry that guilt with you for so many centuries, Father. I want you to make your own happiness, despite how that felt.
It is mine to carry.
All right. Well, I just wanted some information in your opinion.
Do what you think is best.
Okay.
Go with what your heart tells you.
Okay.
And never apologize for it.
I won't. Love you, Father.
I love you too, Ashton.
I'll try to contact you soon, okay?
Come home soon.
I will. Bye, Father.
Goodbye, Snow Lily.
And I'm going to set up a direct line to Lias.
Okay.
Hi, brother. Are you doing okay?
Oh, just Ashton, I told you not to use this unless it was an emergency. I am not used to these confounded mental links.
I'm sorry. It actually is important.
It is okay. I'm happy to hear that you are still alive.
For now, it's a new day.
That's what I keep telling myself about our my brother-in-law. I swear that man will be the death of me.
It'll all be good. You guys get along so well.
He tried to convince me to just fight a bear.
Did you do it?
No, he did it.
You backed out, didn't you?
I'm not going to punch a bear.
Why? It looks fun.
Of course you would say that.
Oh, he's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to contact you.
You're not having second thoughts about everything, are you?
No, there's some information about Father that I recently came across, and it's starting to pile on. And
you found out about his past, didn't you?
I take it you already knew.
After you talked to him, he opened up to me.
Wow, really?
He figured it was best it came from his mouth instead of yours, because he knows you cannot hold on to a secret.
Hey, I did a pretty damn good job, okay? And
yet,
for the record, I was going to keep it brief. I actually wasn't even going to give you details.
Here we are, about to spill the secrets.
Well, here's the thing. It's kind of a secret, kind of not. But it's more of me trying to get an opinion from you. We both know that when the time comes, Father is going to name you heir. We already know this.
Well, I am the eldest and first in line, so yes, tradition would dictate so.
Mm-hmm. What would you do with the land and the company once you gained rights to it?
I would continue to run it as Father has. I have no plans on changing it or undoing what he has done. Why?
Do you not want to change it? Are you happy with it?
Well, it is what I know. Again, why?
I may have been offered something to make the land flourish, maybe get in touch with our kin from some isles where the vampires first came from. But I feel like that would just make a big target on our backs and
you have
endanger you.
You have means of giving us contact with the homeland.
Yes, but from what I understand, why?
Ashton, you and I have grown up away from our people for our entire lives.
Yes.
Have you not ever wondered what the homeland looked like? I know I have many times.
Well, I mean, I never really thought about it. I was always really happy with what I had. I was just happy to have a home, a family, and the chance to adventure. Despite running away and not telling Father and leaving a message. But still, I got to go out.
Yes, you did. But think of it this way. With connections to a new land is new adventures.
Yes, but I feel like our family line is shunned from our kind. I don't think they'll really welcome us.
Then we make them welcome us.
That may put the targets on our family's back.
So we've had targets on our back throughout generations. And we've taken care of each and every one of those.
Yeah, but
we are not those who hide, Ash.
Well, you didn't have to.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, that just made things way more complicated.
Well, that is the definition of our relationship. But if you want my advice, take any chance you can to see your family flourish. However small.
All right, I'll consider it. Speaking of family, can you do me a favor? I know you're probably already doing it, but can you keep an eye on Turok and the kids for me? I'm planning on visiting very soon to see everyone, but I just have a bad feeling, and I just want to make sure that he's okay.
Your husband and your boys are doing quite well.
Good. Well, just please keep an eye on them. There's some things I have to work out. But I just want to make sure that they're safe and they're good.
They are. Kel actually said his first words the other day.
Did he really?
Yes.
What did he say?
Bear poop.
Oh, I'm so proud.
Only you would be proud of that.
Well, you know, when you have a father that treks the land.
Now everything is bear poop.
Well, at least he's acknowledging things.
Yes, but it doesn't help when he starts calling his meals that.
Well, who knows? His father's probably encouraging it too, calling it, yeah, that's bear poop. Would you like to eat bear poop?
No, he's actually trying to correct him, as he cannot stop shooting ale out of his nose every time the boy says it.
Oh, so it's too much. Got it.
Yes.
Overdone. Yeah, I really miss them.
Bullshit.
I do miss them. All right. Well, thanks for complicating things even more, Elias. Appreciate it.
Well, that is my job as your brother.
Mm-hmm.
You stay safe, Ash. Come home soon.
I'll certainly try. I love you, brother.
Love you too.
Tell the family I say hi.
I will give them all hugs.
Good. Bye, brother. I'm gonna sit there and mope.
All right. And about 20 minutes of moping later, Rose comes out of the tree line within view of you.
Hi, Rose.
Oh, you didn't stay in bat form?
No. I have to talk to them.
Oh, God. Like, if she stayed in bad form and tried to do it, it'd just be a bunch of inaudible squeaking.
Who knows? They're vampires. They could probably understand it.
They can't speak. They can't speak bat.
Not until they turn into bats.
That's true.
No, I'm in my form.
Are you in the tree or on the ground?
No, I'm at the base of the tree. I'm just sitting, leaning against it.
She like stands next to where you are, and you know, flattens the back of her legs and sits down next to you, and she leans her head on your shoulder, and then she just goes, "Did you really have to walk this far away from the cottage?"
Well, I wanted to speak privately, and I know how much you all just come rushing out to find me.
Well, you wear that glowing armor, so it's not like it's difficult.
Took you all this long to find me, so I thought I did pretty good.
Well, you obviously changed into a bat, and I don't know these forests, so I was basically trying to figure out which way you would have gone.
Well, it was enough to buy me some time to think and talk, figure things out.
About?
Well, there's just a lot going on right now between the fake heart playing us, with the hag's offer.
What's this about the fake hearts?
Well, about the whole story of us supposedly being these heroes is not true and we're just being played. But now we need to find a way to...
Well, we knew that the story was false.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like what we needed to do and who was telling the truth, and that the liches were just sidetrack us, I guess. I don't know, but...
So the liches were a MacGuffin.
Well, I still think they need to go. But now we know that they don't really play a part in any of this Fae bullshit. No offense.
Well, none taken. But elaborate on this with not having to deal with the liches.
Well, they originally said that the liches, if we don't destroy them, it will cause the liches to fight them or cause a...
Well, all but one.
Well, yes, for the balance of power and blah, blah, blah. All that was bullshit. Liches have nothing to do with it. But they're still fighting for power. They're still sapping the life and the gods and the influence of this world into their little grubby hands. And so we found a way to perhaps banish them from this plane and kind of lock them away for a time. And
so Tana was lying.
Yeah. I think he's using Molly. But Molly's young. She doesn't... Pretty sure this is her first love. And... I mean, she was there listening to everything. She was quiet the whole time, but... I don't really want to push the matter on her right now as to what she thinks, but... He lied. Just like all of them. The lady in the woods, everything.
What lady in the woods?
The one that originally told us the story.
Oh.
But if we close all of these shadow roads, that means you lose connection with your family.
What do you mean if we close all the shadow roads?
That's how we banish the Fae from their influence in this world. We have to shut down all the shadow roads on this plane that connect it to theirs.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. The shadow roads are already in a state of flux.
Well, there's a way to get rid of them. Well, I shouldn't say get rid of them. I think it just seals them.
You mean destroy them?
For a time, yes. I'm sure that means centuries. It will come back, I'm sure. The hag definitely made it sound like it was only temporary, but it sounded like plenty of time would pass before anything would happen again. But it's something to stop their influence now. But when the shadow roads close, that means you're cut off from your family. And
why? My family's on this plane.
But it would force them to go back to their plane.
Her family technically isn't from the Shadow Roads.
Never mind. Connection with the fake courts anyway. But other things will happen. The gifts that we received from the Bear King and the Lady in the Forest for Zale, and among other things, would all vanish with it.
Are you fine with that?
Honestly, no. But it's the right thing to do.
Says who?
Says my gut. The Fae
I'm sorry,
are
sweetie,
sapping
but-
the influence.
Larp, Dungeon Master, thank you for the follow.
My only concern with the court is that Sarstrasha is no longer in control.
Well, you can kill her, but there's still going to be power. Just a different kind. And we haven't really discussed it as a group, so I can't really say. I'm just kind of voicing my opinion at this point, but...
There's always going to be a court. What's the
Of
difference?
course. I never said that. It's just, it would just be temporarily removed for the time being. But I know.
So then what's the problem?
It's just the whole situation. It's affecting many people.
Well, you don't have to destroy the shadow roads and disconnect the veil. All we need to do is rid ourselves of Sarstrasha. She's the one who's gone mad with power.
Well, wouldn't that just mean the summer court would step in? And isn't that exactly the court that's influenced us right now? Tricking us?
No,
It's been the summer court.
It's been her court. The Mad King would take over. And the Winter Court would rule.
Either way, we're being played.
I don't think the Mad King has the capacity to trick anyone. He's not called the Mad King for any reason other than the fact that he is quite mad. He does have his moments of lucidity, but
I don't know if that makes it better.
I'd rather have him rule the court and have no direction, than have Sarstrasha continue to rule the court and threaten my life and the life of those I care about.
Again, this is all just opinion. We haven't even discussed it, and as a group, and we're still on track as far as helping Tickles and TUES in this land. So we have plenty of time to think about it. It's just I'm just kind of voicing my opinion.
Well, I think you're worrying yourself for nothing.
Maybe. Just a lot to think about. But I'm done moping. We can go back.
Well, there's something you're not telling me. What are you not telling me?
Well, if we kill the Bear King, banish the Bear King, the courts, all of it, the Shadow Roads, everything, like I said, their gifts go with them. So Zale's oasis would disappear. That's helping her clan prosper and thrive. And it would erase the Briarheart.
I mean, that thorny brambly thing that's in the chest of your husband.
Mm-hmm. For half-orcs, he doesn't have much time left. Maybe about 10, 15 more years if he's lucky.
Well, I mean, wouldn't necessarily have to kill Tana for being a liar. He wouldn't be in control of the court once the Mad King is in control.
Oh, but like I said, if we banish or get rid of the Shadow Roads, it goes with it.
Again, who says we have to do that?
I'm just telling you what will happen.
Well, I can tell you what will happen immediately. Sarstrasha dies. There will be a mad bid for one of the other Archfey to take her place as she withers and dies, hopefully painfully. And then, in the midst of the chaos and calamity of someone trying to take her place and claim the throne, the Mad King will step in and take it. hence ending summer and beginning winter.
Well, we've got a lot going on, don't we?
Well, I really don't care about the mechanisms of the fake court. The only ones that really want anything to do with me, I have on a list, aside from Sarstrasse, and once she's dead, then I will take my time in getting rid of the rest of them, since they won't have the power of the court behind them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And with that out of the way, then there's nothing for anyone in this realm to worry about.
And you're still being hunted, technically, so I think it's a good idea that you take the necklace that Zale has, where they can't peep in on you like they have been.
Why would I take something like that from Zale when she needs it for herself?
The hag actually has a spare that she's going to give you as additional insurance, since you agreed to end the queen. Because they apparently listen in quite often.
Well, I'm pretty sure they have, but I can't stop them from scrying. The best I can do is occasionally keep them from ambushing me.
Well, from what I understand, it helps you from the scrying.
Well, that only protects me, doesn't protect any of you from the scrying.
No, and so far as we know, they have no interest in us, but it's a chance we're willing to take since they seem to be interested in you. Still think you should have it.
Well, if it's being offered freely, it's not something I would foolishly disregard.
Good, because we all agree that you should take it.
Well, I'm very glad you're all making these wonderful decisions on my behalf.
Well, in our defense, you weren't out there. It all kind of happened suddenly.
Yes.
Were you sleeping?
No, I wasn't sleeping. If I was contemplating circumstances.
About the deal with the queen?
Just that
You
things
kill her?
have come full circle for me, and I don't know what will happen once Sarstrasse is dead.
Well, you still have friends and your girlfriend?
My girlfriend.
Isn't that what she is?
Oh, Taka. She's a pleasant distraction.
Oh. Yeah. Well, still, you have her in your time of need for distracting.
Yes, because that space in your heart is filled with the orc.
Still love you.
I know. Give it 100 years, I'm pretty sure it'll be something more.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what we decide to do, huh?
Well, that is the benefit of having a long life. Things for us aren't as set in stone as those that don't live as long as we do.
Before we go, are your horns bigger? They look longer. They're definitely. And she like puts her hand on them. They're definitely longer.
They don't feel longer. I mean, I've had some headaches the last few days, but they've recently stopped.
I think it's because they're growing out of your head. Trust me, I know what it feels like to have a horn grow out of your head. I've got 3.
She takes like a hand mirror out and she's like looking at her horn. She's like, I don't see it.
They're definitely bigger. Not like super huge longer, but you kind of had shorter horns. These are definitely bigger.
I've gone through puberty. I'm over 120, so I'm done growing for the most part.
Might be that whole fiendish thing Caldros was talking about before, whatever that means, but it could be a second form of puberty? I mean, I have no idea.
He's just being silly. I'm pretty sure he just has issues with the fact that they've taken the succubus as a lover.
I mean, he doesn't have a problem with me or my family, and they're vampires.
True,
I don't think he hates all things that are evil.
Evil.
I think it depends on actions.
Evil is not something that is as set in stone as his order thinks it is. I've seen things that are truly evil. Trust me. What most people think is evil is nothing in comparison to some of the things that I've bore witness to.
Like I said, I think it's more of an actions over who you are. Otherwise, if that was the case, I'm pretty sure he would have tried to kill me long ago. I say try because, let's be honest, he can try.
Well, I mean, it's easily arrangeable to do that. I mean, he can be a little bit overzealous.
I think he's just worried. I mean, it is his job.
He's also human. Well, drow, close enough to human for me, anyway.
Aren't his kind usually kind of shunned, though? I mean, he's perfect for a band of misfits. All of us are. Actually, Molly is the most normal-looking one, probably, out of all of us. And she's just as a misfit as all of us.
I don't know. Maybe after another 20 or 30 years, if he's still around.
Well, at least you're giving him a chance. All right, let's go back before everyone becomes a worrywart and thinks I'm going on a tantrum.
Well, I don't see any destruction, so there's no tension to be had, I'm presuming.
About an hour and a half later, Ash and Rose walk back out of the tree line.
What's up, guys?
Oh, hey, what's up?
Not much. How are you?
Okay, no, seriously, how did you do that whole thing with the tracks just stopping? Because the hell.
Rude.
I could use some magic,
Oh, that's right, the bad thing.
Yeah, you've seen me do it.
Well, it was just, we were trying to see where you went, and then nothing.
I
Forget
knew
about it.
you were tracking me. I knew it.
Just wanted to make sure you were okay.
And I appreciate that. Thank you.
Kind of got some boulders dropped on you from this guy.
What?
And as
I can't say you had a bomb dropped on you because there's no real bombs in D&D.
well, I mean, there are. I mean, you're in an age with guns. There's definitely bombs.
It's definitely bombs.
Yes.
I mean, I made one.
Yeah.
There's bada booms.
All right, sorry,
Big
you had
bada
a
boom.
bomb dropped on you.
Yes, I am sorry about that revelation. It wasn't meant to upset you. I just didn't want you going into decisions without being informed.
No, we have a lot to discuss and talk as a group. So
Indeed.
This is
And
just
you don't
good
see why
information.
We have to discuss so much, and the only one in the court that needs to die is Sarstrasse, and the ones that are going to try and reenact her will once she's been gotten rid of.
Yes.
Wait.
That is what I would like to see. But the other side needs to be taken care of as well. Not killed, banished, sealed away so they can no longer influence this realm. Because this is all just a sick little game.
Well, I mean, I have no ill will towards the Mad King.
Oh, you should. He is just as guilty as the other one.
Well, in his defense, he is mad.
That's a pretty weak defense when you look at the crimes that she has on her plate.
Oh, it's not his fault. He's just not all there.
And those who follow him do so willingly.
Well, because they want his favor, they're sheep.
Indeed, they also want power, which they are given every time this story goes through.
Who doesn't want power? I want power. Tickles wants power. Tickles, do you not want power?
I want the power.
I mean,
you see like a big shit-eating grin on her face.
I believe Tickles wants a gun called Power.
Yes, do you have any of those?
I do not, I'm sorry.
Darn.
Zale, I know she wants power.
Yes, but you see, there's a difference here. You're not toying with the lives of everyone on this plane of existence to get your power.
So, we rid ourselves of the Mad King.
You rid yourselves of the entire court. Both courts. Bring this world back to its proper setting.
Well,
With-
what if we consolidate the courts?
Then you're more mad than he is.
No, he doesn't have to be the one to rule. The heir of anyone that holds the throne has rights to claim it.
Yes, that is how it goes, but there are only two true beings that can sit in that seat.
No. There is one that lives in this realm that can claim that throne.
You assume to put somebody else on the throne.
She can't do worse than either one of them.
Not starting off, no, but that kind of power quickly corrupts any soul.
Are you talking about your savior?
What savior?
I friggin' can't find her name.
No,
Quotio.
he I believe she's speaking of the Dryad child.
Oh.
Legitimate claim to the throne. By rights, if Sarstras and the Mad King are gone, the throne belongs to her. She can do with this. She can do with the court as she wishes.
Well,
And she is neither of summer or winter.
the choice is up to you. I'm just giving you the most
Well, the choice is up to her.
logical.
I tried very hard to remove her from having to deal with the idiosyncrasies of the court.
You
But-
can guarantee that if either side feels that they are threatened, she will be a prime target. He is mad after all.
True. But he also does love her.
Love takes a backseat to power.
I don't know.
These beings who fancy themselves gods want only one thing, and that is control over the lives of every living being in this plane. They do not belong here. They do not deserve to rule.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you there. My issue is that, granted, I personally would not feel very disheartened should Turok come to some kind of harm, but
Thank you. I'm standing right here.
Well, you know how I feel about the man. I'm not going to.
No, you can at least attempt to show that you at least
there would
care
be
what I think.
There would be no harm to him. He would just lose the extended lifespan for a time. As I said previously to your friends, there are other beings out there who would be willing to grant such a boon to somebody as faithful as he.
Exactly.
Would you?
I do not have that power yet.
I'm just saying that obliterating the court completely.
Oh, I am not saying obliterate the courts. I'm saying lock them back into the Feywild. Do not allow them in this world. Allow the peoples of this world to oversee itself, to bring back their gods, to live and die as they see fit, not as pathetic playthings of a court full of children vying for power.
And you're certain that banishing them to the Feywild will actually do this?
Oh, yes. Positive.
And I'm to presume you've already conveyed the means to do so to everyone else?
Oh, yes, they are aware of where the key is needed to do this.
Rose,
Zale's quite familiar with the one who is in possession of it.
We had her under a zone of truth that she willingly allowed to take effect while asking her all these questions, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you'd be willing to submit to that again should Rose like?
I would, though I know
Pretty sure she wouldn't want me asking her questions.
I know the first question she would ask.
True.
She
Which
would want my
you-
true name.
Exactly. Which you are under no obligation to tell me, but truth be told, you've been honest with me, I'll be honest with you. Yes, that would be the first question I ask.
Well, that would be the first question anybody should ask when given the
True,
chance.
but you know.
So, while I am not comfortable giving you my true name, I can give you I can give you a name of the name of the humans that I have previously resided with. They've given me. They know me as Saint Meyer.
Does that
I want to see if I know anything about that.
Okay.
Is that a history check?
You can give me history checks.
Okay, let's see.
Me too.
Oh,
18?
Ooh, hold on.
Let's see what the
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, nat 20,
dirty 20.
and an 18. There are tales of a Saint Meyer going back a couple hundred years
No bonus to that roll.
as a healer, a renowned healer that used to take up residence in the area that is now known as the ruins of Taldor.
Oh, snap, crackle, pop.
Or Taldur, I'm sorry.
Where are the ruins of Taldor on the world map?
Right beneath Pearl Shore. That was the first location you guys visited during the campaign. That the place now crawls and is festered with the undead at night.
That doesn't bode well for this.
Do we know when that affliction happened to that area?
That area, it afflicted about 75 years ago.
All right, so not her doing, more than likely.
No, not her doing.
Alrighty. I've been told bedtime stories of you.
Probably all boring, but not surprising.
And then I'm sorry.
No apologies needed. You see someone of my kind before you. The intelligent thing to do is mistrust.
Well,
Given your track record.
well, trust is earned. It's not freely given.
Indeed.
We have plenty of time to figure out what to do with the Fake Court. We have the means to rid ourselves of one half. And eventually the means to rid ourselves of the other. I presume whatever this key is, it's something that can't be done in mass.
It would need a central location of power in order to execute properly. A focus gate, a convergence of the roads, something of that sort.
Now, when she mentions a convergence of the roads, would Rose have any idea of such a place existing?
Yeah, Rose would have personal information of such a place existing.
That would be difficult to take control of. The best one that comes to mind in particular would be challenging, to say the least. But I mean, what's a gamble without rolling the dice?
Indeed. So, we are wasting daylight here. How about we get moving and escorting you all to Melorsik? You'll have about 3 days' time to think over your plans. Ash, you will have time to think over my proposed deal. And
Yes.
you will be well taken care of and sheltered along the way.
Thank you. We appreciate all of your help.
As I said, you are considered friends. Now, if we would all please enter the cabin, we can be on the way.
All right.
Or not this again.
What do you mean, enter the cabin and we'll be on our way?
I look at Zale. You remember?
I just want to hear her say it. Curious.
I said Jeremy would be taking us.
What is Jeremy?
Yeah, that was my follow-up.
Oh, give me a moment. And she reaches down in a pocket and she brings up a whistle and she blows it.
Oh,
And about a
I know
moment
something
later,
like that.
You hear just these powerful wings beginning to flap through the air. His air currents begin to move like around you as this large, beautiful looking rock descends and lands next to you.
Not what I expected.
Me
At least,
neither.
at least it's not the dragon.
Like Rose looks at her and she goes, "Is there just a thing with Yaga's houses and beds that I just don't understand?"
Remember the chicken legs?
Yes, it's a tradition thing. The current one likes chickens. I like more birds of prey.
Why can't
I
it
love
just
that
be
you're continuing the
snakes?
theme.
Well, it's tradition.
You guys
As-
don't do fuses like, like a half bird, half chicken.
That would be weird.
Deal?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Isn't a chicken a bird
Yes.
already?
Yes.
Most of them.
But
Well, I mean, like half
if-
chicken, half frog, half
Most
owl.
of them.
if you
Sorry. Freaking TUES.
if you enter the cabin, we can be on the way.
Oh.
I missed what you said. I'm sorry.
It's like, isn't a chicken already a bird? And he said most of them. With the straightest face. So good.
Apparently,
Oh.
you've never encountered demonic chickens then.
Sorry, that was so good.
Abyssal
Oh, okay.
abyssal chickens are not chickens.
Yeah. Oh god.
Technically
Okay.
not.
They are birds, but they're not chickens.
Oh, that
fucked
was
up.
great. That was great. I mean, I don't see chickens as people anyway, so it's all good. Oh,
I
Rose
will
goes
enter the
inside.
cabin.
that's why the chocobos can die. Anyway, I'll enter the cabin.
I mean, does this look like a bird to you?
No, does the door turn into a beak?
They're even freakier when they spread their wings.
I mean, they has wings?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
like
kind
chickens.
of.
This is just
Kind
proof
of.
right here of my theory that chickens are the spawn of Satan.
So
Oh God.
she's like, at once everybody's in, she shuts the door, and you hear the latch click, and she walks over and takes a seat at the table and just taps her staff twice on the floor. Jeremy, the edge of the forest, please. And Jeremy gives out a very deep squawk as he kind of takes off once again, the ground around you kind of rumbling. And then a moment later, he grabs onto the house or the cabin, and it goes airborne.
Yeah. Someone had to do it.
Did they?
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
So we have 3 days before our destination is reached. If there is anything, if there are any other questions you may have, now's the time to ask them.
What's the meaning of life?
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
I have two. I was told there is an amulet you can provide me that would prevent them from scrying on.
Oh yes, much like Zale has, and he reaches down into her satchel and pulls out a small, like, bronze medallion. This will keep them from spying on you.
Rose takes it and she puts it on. And then the second. What is the deal specifically you offered Ashton?
You were
Oh.
there, remember? It was yesterday.
Exactly what you heard.
No,
In
Rose wasn't there.
in exchange for the tomes that she carries, which are a dangerous beacon for all of you, and that of something that can cause Ash herself to turn into a hag if she continues to read them, I would guarantee prosperity for Felloc and provide Ash the means to travel back to her family's homeland.
Big Rose looks at Ashton and she goes, "You're okay with this?"
Yeah, I'm still mulling it over.
You'd rather risk becoming a hag?
Oh, no. I just meant the whole deal. I'm not reading the books anymore. Regardless of my decision, I am not reading the books anymore.
There's a drawback to them. The books sooner or later will make you read them.
Huh, I know that feeling.
Cool. Something.
I'm presuming there are windows.
Oh yeah.
Like, how fast are we flying?
At a comfortable speed. Like, the rock isn't putting the full power into it, knowing that everyone on board probably couldn't handle the force.
Rose is gonna sit on the windowsill without opening the window itself. And then she's just gonna go, well, I guess we need to figure out something to do to pass the time. Suggestions?
Well, I could cast Zone of Truth on everyone.
No.
You know, that would be an excellent thing. It is a wonderful party game. Air out all the truths. It's a great group bonding exercise too.
You know what? I'm actually down for that.
Well, Aldros, so you don't have to drain anything. He pulls out the scroll, begins to chant off it, and like the words begin to light up, and then like a zone of truth just encompasses.
I stand 10, 15 feet away from everyone else so that they don't get my aura.
That's going to be hard considering how small this cabin is.
Yep.
Can I shut off my aura?
No,
Will?
You can't shut off your aura.
You can't shut off this.
I temporarily consider none of you allies.
Wow.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past Keldros.
You know what? I'm actually okay with this. Yeah.
If you say that out loud, Rose would give Ashton a knowing look. Like, you see what I'm talking about?
If anyone wants to try to resist it, you can, but everyone else will know that you're resisting it.
This was
I will resist it.
This was the hag that cast it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, off the scroll.
What's her DC?
In her defense, it's the scroll's DC.
It's the scroll's DC.
Yeah, it's the scroll's
unless
DC.
she created the scroll, we don't know.
No, it's as well. Are the magic item creation rules the same as in 3rd edition as they are in 5th?
It's based off of a creation.
Because I always thought that the item itself had flat DCs based on what's in the DMG.
Let's see. It's got flat DCs.
I mean, my charisma's shit anyway, so.
She's like, "Oh, don't resist it. It's a team building exercise."
I rolled a 2.
I'm not resisting it, but now I'm just curious as to what I would actually get.
I rolled a 1.
Oh,
What's the DC on it?
The DC. What is Zone of Truth? What level spell is it?
It's 2nd level. So
Yeah, 13. It's a 13.
The die itself, I got a 14 on the die. I would have resisted, but I'm not.
Yeah, if I turned off my own aura, I would still have an 11 to my save. So
you know, Rose is like, fuck it. It's like, you know, because she knows she doesn't have to she can bend the truth. She doesn't have to tell the truth. There's a difference.
And she smiles as she kind of like summons up a small coffee, like a small table for everyone to sit around at, and there's like various kettles of like tea and coffee and a couple sweet treats in the center. And she's like, "Well, we have 10 minutes. Make the best of it."
She resisted.
No, she didn't. She said this is a trust and team building exercise. Once again, she does not resist. You kind of see like a glimmer in her eyes, like she almost enjoys this.
The sadistic little bitch.
Rose,
I'd like to start with a question.
Rose sits down. She pours herself a cup of tea and takes some tea cakes.
Go ahead, Sam.
And then she, in her usual style of totally poor manners and etiquette, she like puts her feet up on like the table and wraps her arms around them, and she sips on her tea and she eats her cakes.
I need to know who resisted. Did you successfully resist though?
Tickles did not.
I got a 1.
Oh, that's what I mean. Who
keg.
successfully?
But you can see the agonizing on her face. Like you can see sweat on her fur.
You could just see beads of sweat just coming down her forehead. It's the Key and Peele gif.
Yeah, the Key would be like.
I'm gonna take the keg, take a mug, pour some, and then look at Rose and like kind of, you want some from the keg?
You're pouring from the keg?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll probably knock her out, but you know she's gonna drink it.
It's not the pure stuff that we had in the drinking competition.
Yeah, but I mean, she still has to make a save when it's like against it, right?
No, you're not a paladin or a cleric.
She can't drink it, is what she's saying. Like, she would have to make a save versus drinking it because of how potent it is.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, the only reason why you have to make a save is to see if you can continue drinking it to refresh your abilities.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
like
I'm gonna be drinking from it.
like Rose knows if she drinks it, it would knock her out, and she's contemplating whether or not she takes it as an out to not have to answer the questions.
Look, you can't just back out of magical never have I ever.
Yeah.
Well, Zell, you wanted to talk. What's up?
Yeah, I'd actually like to start with a question if we're really doing this.
Sure.
Go for it.
I turn to Ash.
Oh, fuck. That backfired. That backfired. I was okay.
Back when we crashed the ship into the mountain and we came down and had the interaction with the dragon there.
Oh, fuck. Uh-huh.
You were very intent on going down with that dragon into his lair alone.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because you were infatuated with him?
Well,
Starts nodding her head.
I would be lying if I said I wasn't, but that's not the main reason why. That was only a perk.
Wicked
What is
Willow
the
Art,
reason
thank you for the
why?
follow.
What was that?
What is the reason why?
The reason why was because I thought I had a better chance of distracting him while you guys did what you needed to do because of his infatuation with me.
Despite
doing it.
our protests.
Well, I didn't know who was telling the truth as far as what this item was and what we needed to do. So I figured it's a fucking dragon. I'm going to at least attempt to distract it while it seems curious.
Now, when you say attempt to distract it,
I was not going to do what you think I'm going to do. I did not do that.
He wasn't going to do.
you didn't do that, but
No.
would you have?
No.
Fair enough.
Rose chimes in. You did think of it, didn't you?
Wisp with those 5 gift subs. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the distraction, Wisp.
As she looks at Ash innocently and sips her tea.
Now, again, he was very handsome, and yes, there was maybe a brief fantasy, but again, that's all it was. I would not have acted on it. I am very faithful.
It's a good enough answer.
I just wanted to hear the fact that she thought about it.
I think we all knew she thought about it. We just wanted to hear her say it.
I mean, come on, guys. You could have just asked me, and I would have just told you.
No, you wouldn't.
Maybe not right away. I would have blushed, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I would have written a fan fiction about it. Who knows?
You're telling me you haven't.
Oh, no. No, I have. It's just back in my room. Tickles.
Yes.
Aside from its influence over you, why do you cling to that coin so much?
It's fun.
Is that the only reason? Because it's fun despite it getting us into constant danger all the time?
Well, to be honest, I actually like all the different types of outcomes that come from it. Either they be good or bad.
Despite it risking, including your own life, potentially not being able to see your own children and husband ever again?
I'm alive, aren't I?
It's right now.
Well, yeah.
It only takes one.
Well, I mean, sure.
Will you ever get rid of that
77,
coin?
Thank you for the follow.
No.
You'd be tempted to get rid of the coin.
What are you offering?
I'm just saying, could you ever be tempted?
Tempted? Maybe.
Let me cut to the chase. What would it take for you to get rid of that coin?
Death.
Well, that's one way. You know, to be honest, I have no clue. Find me something that does the
JM
same
Pez,
thing
thank you for the follow.
as this coin, but better outcomes.
How about if I give you information on one of those, or another one of those? She points down to your celestial pistol. It has a twin.
Oh.
And I know where it's at.
You just see her just still sweating. She's like, like that freaking. Oh my god. Okay. She's like, what do I do? She's like thinking, do I do it?
Just
Maybe.
Just
No?
think on it for now. Don't stop this from anyone asking questions.
Okay, sounds good. No, I'm trying to stall as much as possible. I mean, what? Anyone
All right,
else
TUES
got
wants to go.
questions?
Rose, do you have a question for any of us?
You're muted.
Muted.
I have several questions. The question is, which one do I want to ask, and whom do I wish to ask?
Ooh, me.
You can just, well, ask the room.
Well, yours is easy.
Broadfire.
Who's your favorite child, Tickles?
Oh god. Oh god.
Well, I know who like as the DM, I know who my favorite child is.
Well, I'm not supposed to choose favorites, but just this once. It would be my twins.
Yep.
They are
Because they're
rather
the most
enjoyable.
mischief of the group.
Team pack tactics.
Yep.
Fantastic.
I believe that is Ryan and Ryan.
You have to look up your kids' names.
Yes, I actually have them here. So
As-
screw you.
she has like close to a dozen, so I mean,
No, I only have like 9.
close to a dozen. I didn't say it was a dozen, it says close to.
It's a half baker's dozen, whatever. So, but yes.
Yeah, I've asked a question.
You want me to ask a question?
I mean,
Sure.
the floor is yours if you wish it to be.
Sure. Rose, are you my friend?
Oh, shit.
I've been waiting for almost 2 years for this.
Something not to ask during a team building exercise when people are magically forced to tell the truth.
Let's just say I've become accustomed to your shenanigans.
So is that a yes or a no?
It's within
I've
it's within the
I've become-
bounds of the circle to be able to answer like that.
I've become accustomed to your shenanigans.
So the answer is yes. I'll take that.
I didn't say yes or no.
No, but that's what I want to hear.
That's fine.
Do you care about any of us, Rose?
Any of you? Yes.
I mean, like, do you see us all like friends or family? All of us.
Asking the real questions here.
That wiggle room is narrowing quickly.
There are those of you in our group who would not affect me as much as the others if you weren't in my life.
But you would be sad if they left.
Sadness might be too strong of a word for some of you.
You know what? I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
I have another question.
Not for me, is it?
No, not yet, anyway.
Oh, great.
TUES, now that you have your freedom, could you ever see yourself settling down and starting a family?
Once I don't have the voices screaming in my head and in my dreams, I'd be more than happy to retire to somewhere and set up a small blacksmith shop.
Can we get him a snake wife?
Aw, really? What's your type?
Yanti or Naga.
Oh, that's settled down? No idea.
Speaking of which,
Maybe he likes the shy types.
and I look over at Caldros. Do you want to marry that drow queen?
How long has it been?
That you've been the two of them have been together.
Yeah, we
little
started
over-
like what 6 months into the year skip, and
Yeah.
now it's been
It's been it's been close to a year now, almost a year.
well, definitely thought about it.
Go on.
It's still a little early to tell for sure, but when I think about it, it doesn't scare me.
Did you guys bang yet?
Oh hell yes.
Okay, at least
She
I'm not
make
alone.
you submit to her will, as I hear Droman are apt to do.
Ooh.
Well, she is a queen, but other than acting as a queen, no, she does not force her will upon me in our personal lives.
So you're not her bitch.
No.
Okay. I just wanted to know.
Pickles being
Pickles,
crude
like,
as ever.
Just need clarification. You're not her bitch, right?
All right. Okay. All right.
So, aside from the obvious, the astral plane and going through portals and whatnot, the things we already know, what are you most afraid of?
Portals.
I already excluded that.
I'm sorry. I just...
Do you remember the encounter with my father?
I do.
Do you remember what he said to me?
Fuck, no. That you killed him? Fuck, hold on.
She's going way
No,
back.
just I can tell you. What
This
he-
was like
if you
episode
don't
10,
remember.
okay? I'm sorry. This was like
Flipping through
episode
notes.
10 or 20, okay? This was a long time ago. Yes, yes, of course I remember.
Right. So you remember that before he died again, He said to me that I was always a disappointment.
Yes, and that broke my heart.
I'm afraid of those words because they're true.
No,
Why
they're
do you
not.
think you're a disappointment?
I have done many things that none of you know about.
What's the worst?
And eaten many things you do know about.
Well, the
I mean,
worst.
I've done many things that you guys don't know about.
The worst you do know about is when I abandoned my father, a good, strong man, to die. I took his supplies and I left him alone in a storm with no way out. That is easily the worst.
You're an asshole.
Thanks, Tickles.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
Tickles. Wow. Wow.
Man, that zone of truth is just having an effect on Tickles.
I draw my sword and cut Zale's throat. No.
Okay. Well, if it's any consolation to you, Zale, whether you feel that you failed him in that moment or that you haven't been able to atone for it, you're a good person now, and you're doing great things for your people that are very selfless.
I mean, from the sounds of it, you're not even the same person you were back then at all.
No.
Oh, drop it
You got it.
already, okay? It was just one thing. It's fine.
I was
Zale's
shocked,
now-
okay?
What? That happened like 2 years ago at this point.
I
maybe
do-
I
more.
wasn't there for it.
I
know,
have a
still.
question
didn't
I'd
know.
like to ask.
Oh no.
Out of all of you, which one of you would be more likely to kill the others on a
On a whim.
Point at Tickles.
Rose-
We all
Rose
point at
points
Tickles.
I mean, if it came down to it and, there was
Like-
no other way, yeah, I would kill you all.
Yeah, she seriously said on a whim. It's like that's Tickles. It's like,
She, yeah, I mean, we
Rose
love Tickles.
Rose needs a reason.
Kyle Ross would look at Tickles. You
Too
could try.
easy of a question. Zale, life or death situation. Who would you hunt and consume first to survive?
Oh my God, we're having a Donner Party moment here.
Everyone points at Tickles.
Life or death situation.
Life or death situation. Out of supplies. Deserted island. You or them?
TUES.
Wow, did not see that coming. Why
That just
Tyrus?
means she sees Tyrus as the most challenging to fight.
Oh, now I feel a little insulted.
Rose is right, but also because of the connection that I feel TUES and I share after that time we spent together in Dagger Tree. I feel like he would understand.
I mean,
He
no
may not
offense.
like it,
Good.
but I feel like he would understand.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I kind of figured you wouldn't pick me only because you've already had vampire, and look where it got you.
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to eat one of you, it would be one that I knew I could survive afterwards.
That makes me feel a little better. Thank you.
What, that you're poisonous? I mean, that... Well, that just kind of came
No,
out, didn't it?
No. I know exactly what you mean. And yes, I'm okay with this.
Why are we doing this again?
I
it's
don't
fun.
know.
Actually, I have a follow-up for you, Zale. On something else entirely different. How would you feel if I freed that elf slave that you had making those coins?
What do you mean had? She still has him.
I know.
He's probably still making coins.
I know.
I would be furious.
Would you hunt him down?
Would I hunt him down?
Okay, would you or someone in your clan hunt him down? Because I know you would probably send people out.
Yes, I would send a hunting party after him.
Why do you have a slave?
Why not?
Okay, you know what? No.
Would that not be your answer?
He belongs to us.
That's not his. People aren't property.
I mean, technically they can be.
That's no.
Gosh, doesn't your
In
family
Tickle's
have a bunch of
defense, she is a
ghouls
pirate.
in its service?
Okay, there is that is different.
Is it though?
Look, I wanted a slave, but my husband
Look,
won't let me get one.
there's a difference between servants and people who are already dead, and unfortunately, their
What
wills
do you
are
call your
forfeit.
ghouls?
But
They're not real
slaves!
people.
But Ashton, darling, they were made dead to be put into servitude.
But they were already dead.
They were
Didn't
made
your family
dead
kill
to be put
most of
into
them?
servitude.
Calbros is banging his
You know
head
what?
on
I
the
was
table.
not. You know what? I was not born when this was all happening. So you know what? I would free them.
Sorry, Miss Princess of the
I'm not the-
Vampires.
I am not Princess of the
She's
Vampires.
not a princess, she's a duchess.
Thank you.
Get it-
Whatever, we're all
Get
royalty
it right,
here.
she does get rather annoyed when you get it wrong.
Sorry, Terrace. And
I feel so
Caldros.
left out.
Oh God, that's right. Boys. So all the women are some form of royalty, nobility.
Technically, the only one that has the official title of princess is Tickles. I'm
That's
technically
true.
a princess.
And Molly has
Mhm.
has the technical title of Empress.
Yes.
No.
That's funny. You don't think that the boys here could have a claim to something either.
Well, we don't have to
Talk
worry
about
about your
yourself.
ego, so.
Well, if we're talking society, then you're pretty much out of the picture, Caldros. And considering that Cirrus came from a commoner's village,
Oh,
More than likely.
Malorsik was not a commoner's village.
oh,
I think your perspective on the world might be a bit narrow there,
Was Terrace
Rose.
To call Malorsik a town is an understatement. Think of it
It's a thriving
more
city.
of
an old kingdom?
small metropolis.
Oh, that's cool.
Terrace, where the hell did you live?
Oh, you'll see it.
Malorsik.
Or sick?
Malorsik. You will see it soon enough.
I'm sorry, it sounds like molasses.
everyone's description of this place up until now made it sound like it's very small compared to what it actually is, apparently.
That is depending on who you ask.
So what is it? Is it
other-
small? Is it big?
It's a small metropolis, or
Okay.
was, at it in its prime.
And you said now it's taken over by mostly undead.
Undead and other monstrosities, yes.
Oh, lovely. So now it's a small necropolis.
Oh, yes,
Wonderful.
and a crater.
Huh.
You have your work cut out for you to get to that well.
Speaking of hometowns, Caldros, where are you from?
Rojan, you're gonna have to help me on this one because apparently the Underdark doesn't exist in this world.
No, it exists. It's just most of the people on this part of the world have never heard of it. Drow in these kingdoms are a very rare commodity to come by. So much is that the only other one that you've met so far has been the queen.
But does
And
everyone
the-
know that we all hate drows?
Well,
No.
no, they're well, I mean, up to you, Rojan, but there are dark-skinned elves in Dortacha, but they're not.
They're not drow.
They're not. They're just they're dark forest, not
Yeah.
underground.
They're not from the Underdark.
Yeah.
While as Cal here is from the Underdark.
And the specific city that I had put in my background, that was equal to what city that these guys might know of.
Minzo Barazin. I believe I just pronounced that correctly. I don't know. I don't speak Drow.
It's Menzo Branson.
A damn drow hater. So
Sorry,
are we
it's
going
been-
with Menzo? Menzo?
No.
Mimsy.
It's about the size of it.
Shamath.
I don't want to show my math.
Yeah. Shamath is the like one of the big cities in the Underdark.
How come you're not there anymore?
Let's just say that my so-called adopted father wanted to use me to increase his power, and he and those who were helping him paid dearly for it, and will continue to do so when I have my way.
What does that mean?
I think he's gonna fuck a bitch up later.
It means he has plans of vengeance.
Ah.
Oh.
Are they still in the Underdark?
Yes. I take it you don't know much about the culture down there, as not many of us have made our way to the surface.
No, not really.
Basically, the city I come from was the only one that wasn't ruled strictly by a queen. This one had powerful wizards of each school as the emperors, each holding a seat. My adopted father was the seat of necromancy.
I hear that's okay in some parts of the world.
That explains a lot.
And he wanted to use my celestial blood to try to bring forth celestial beings, to try to summon them so that he could slaughter them to make his reagents and whatever else have you more powerful. That way, all in an attempt to become a lich himself, so that he could turn the entire city undead and present it as a gift to his goddess, Kirin Sali.
Wow, we suddenly have so much in common.
What is up with you guys and liches?
I don't know.
Ash,
It's
has
the
a
me
grandpa's a
campaign.
lich.
Come on.
What
You
is
have a
up with it?
lich. You
What is
know,
up with it is I
apparently
want every
Pinky's a
single
lich.
lich to die.
Well, technically they are dead, so I mean,
The final,
mission accomplished.
final death, Rose.
No, well, you know, good luck with
On the topic of
I've had
homes
some
and
success
such,
already, actually.
Ash, why did you actually leave your home before meeting up with all of us?
Oh, you already know that.
I want to hear you say it again.
Well, there's two main reasons. The main reason was because Turok went missing with no word. And so I was worried. And since I technically don't leave home, not really allowed because of past experiences, I wasn't allowed to go find him. So I think I hit my rebellious phase and decided to pack up and try to find him on my own. But I've never really ventured further than my forest, so it was kind of also an opportunity to finally see the world, because I've been sheltered for too long from it.
And your father, he have any say in this?
No, I kind of ran away. I left him a message, but to be completely honest, as much as I love and respect my father, it was actually my brother I feared more for leaving. So
Understandable. He seemed a bit crass when we first met him.
he's very protective. I mean, we've been through a lot together, so he has a reason to be. It's just he
How
wouldn't
old
let
is
me go. He is much older than me. His exact age he is twice my age. He's 400 years old.
I see.
But he was very protective. I mean, he was already a full-grown adult and everything by the time I was born, so it was he was protective of me in that sense, but again, a lot of crap happened as I was growing up, so I think it made him worse. I'm not sure. It's my theory anyway.
I got something. Who's got a question for Sven?
Sven, how do we kill you? I'm kidding. Ash, just not say that.
This is
okay.
where Sven goes out a window.
It's like
No, that's-
Sven's like mouth kind of like forms up next to Tickles' head.
No, that's an excellent question. Sven, how do we kill you?
Well,
I mean, I've been wanting to ask.
you can't really kill me per se. You can subdue me. Anything.
Then how do we subdue you?
Well, I'm being honest. Fuck ton of force damage. Like we're talking in metric level.
We're talking about like a town level.
That can be arranged.
Hey, do you have that much force?
No, I am very susceptible to force. So if at any point you think I'm going rogue, that's the way to take me down. Temporarily.
And Sven, do you plan on going rogue again?
To be fair, never gone rogue. I was hungry. That's not going rogue.
That wasn't much better outcome-wise.
Look, you barely give Zale a side eye when she goes out and murders rabbits every morning. That's kind of like what I did. Except the rabbits are people.
I mean, to be fair, he's got a point.
Stop making it any better.
That
It's my
really
Sven.
doesn't-
It's
You-
food, Ash.
I have another question for Sven. Are you just an experiment? Or are you part of that race that we found you upon?
Neither. I was a prisoner, to be exact. They pulled me from my home.
Where is your home?
Well, think of the sphere that you live on.
Okay.
There are multiples of those, far beyond the reach of your sky.
So you just live in a different world.
To be fair, yes.
If you could go back to that world, would you?
Hell no.
Why is
Why
that?
not?
It's boring there.
I don't know why, but I have. If
My
I could
home-
turn back time.
My home is literally just a large orb of me. Like
Wait, so
the
there's
liquid you
multiple of you?
see,
Oh.
it's less multiple of me and more of a collective conscience.
Oh, so it's a hive mind.
Yes, that consumes other worlds.
Oh, okay.
Like
Do you still feel your other self?
Your world consumes other worlds.
That's unsettling.
Out of curiosity, it's nowhere near this one.
Oh no, not at all.
Oh, thank goodness. That's good. That's good.
Moving
Do not make a portal to his world.
Rose, why do you choose not to believe me when I've done nothing ever but tell the truth?
And as you ask that question, the zone of truth fades.
Oh,
She doesn't know. She
I
doesn't know.
recast it.
It doesn't really fade.
It fades.
I recast it.
You son of a bitch. Or sweat.
Did you prepare it a second time though?
I don't have to prepare it 2 times.
Yep,
I prepared
just
it for the day.
Yep, just need need the spell slot for it.
It's the same day still, so.
She'll resist his.
Okay, go ahead and do the DC save. What is your DC, Cal?
My DC.
What'd you get,
I have
Rose?
it somewhere.
I'm trying to tell if it's a 13 or an 18 on the die. The light is blinding me. I think it's an 18. Okay. I was like,
that beats it.
Okay.
Like it's too shiny. I can't tell what it is.
So, Rose, you resist it, and everyone in the circle knows you've resisted.
So now that I've resisted the
Never mind. I'm not interested
feeling.
in your answer anymore if you're not going to play by the rules.
Well, I played by the rules of.
She bends the truth. That's all it is. So pretty much she doesn't play by the rules.
So
I don't play by the rules. I play by whatever gets me the best outcome.
this is where we were going to end for the week, with the group
Hooray.
sailing off in the sky, being carried by a gargantuan rock.
I have
In a
one more
cabin.
question.
Nope, we're ended. We're going to end.
I
You're
have
going
one
to
more
end.
question. It wasn't for Rose even.
And
I'll allow it.
as you begin to sail off throughout the night, asking questions back and forth, some a little more intrusive than
I flipped
others.
the coin.
Oh god damn! No, you do not. You said it ended.
The adventure's over. You're not allowed to flip that.
You can't flip the coin. I already called that. I already said
and
we were
before
ending.
you flip
It's
the
too
coin,
late.
I'm
You
asking
won.
my other question next session. So, no.
That's fine. That's fine. You can ask your question next session. We
What
are
is
going
happening?
to end here for the week, as everyone begins their 3-day journey via aerial cabin towards the forest's edge and the ruins of Malorsic. Saved by the DM.
Oh my
So thank you
God.
very much, everyone, for tuning in tonight, as this was a very RP heavy episode, which isn't bad, seeing as how we've had a lot of combat episodes recently.
It's always great to have a great little RP session and have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
You know?
I was not expecting going to a D&D version of Truth or Dare.
it's more D&D Never Have I Ever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
That's what
Didn't
Zone
I
of Truth
spend
is,
like all of high school avoiding those?
right? So
I spent
we-
high school and college looking for this.
we are now 3 episodes away from episode 100 and our 2-year anniversary stream. So that is going to be on April 21st, I believe is the date.
We're doing a long session or a regular
It's
session?
April 21st. It will be a regular session because
Darn.
it is still on a Tuesday and people have work and all that fun stuff.
What do you mean work? We're still in quarantine.
I'm working from
I'm
home.
working from home.
That's okay. Once we hit
No.
episode 100, we can start talking about doing the occasional Saturday episode again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am totally down for like a once a month or a once every other month Saturday session.
Definitely we should make it. We should do it at least once a month if possible. But thank you everyone for tuning in, as we did a ton of RP tonight. We will be back next week starting at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Currently, we've got 2 shows on this channel. This isn't the only game we play. On Mondays, we have our Mass Effect game, which is a 5th edition mod that Zorro is currently DMing. And Raven's character got shot in the back and through the chest the last time we left off. So
and then we suspended for a week.
yeah, then
Sorry,
Which
I
I'm actually really sad about.
Baby said no. Trust me, I was upset too. I'm sorry. I was in pain
No,
for 12 hours.
I meant about-
baby was like, "Hey mom, make a con save," and you didn't.
I went.
I fail every
I
time.
meant about
Shot me.
Raven's character getting shot.
Yeah, that's how we ended. That's how we ended.
Sad about
last time.
that.
Yeah,
But
it had to be done.
we've got that
To be
Mass
done.
that Mass Effect game is on every Monday night at 7:30 Pacific time as well. We soon, hopefully, we will also have other shows that will be filling up the other time slots throughout the week. We need to reach out to some people, Fox, and find out if they're still doing it or what the whole deal is about that. But yeah, so that is it for us tonight, guys. Probably should put the cast information in chat. I mean, that would be
We're not important.
bullshit. Air poop.
Or poop.
Or poop.
So there's the cast information for everyone who is a part of our wonderful streams on both Monday and Tuesday. Go send these wonderful people your love. Shoot them a follow. They are all wonderful players that
Do we have
happy
any
to have in my
available?
games.
Do we have any available emote slots?
Do we, Fox? Do you know?
If you do the $5, you have up to 100.
Wait, I think he's talking about
I mean, for the channel,
the
Oh.
Twitch emotes.
I am checking right now.
because I legit want a bear poop emote.
I mean, I could just make it for BTTV if you want.
Totally have a bear poop emote. I'm sorry, that just.
What you do is
So
you
it's
make it for-
it basically looks like a little blob, like the classic blob of poop, but with bear ears and a little bear face on it.
Oh my god, that would be awesome.
what you do is you make all the
Teddy bear
emotes
poop?
for the BTTV, and then the favorite ones you throw into the regular as we unlock them.
Yep.
That's what I've done.
I need to revamp some of the older ones too, because I did them for fun, but I was like, you know what, they really have no purpose. I need to make ones that have better purpose. So yeah, but I can do bear poop.
All right.
I don't even know where to go to look for emotes anymore on the
Oh,
dashboard.
it is
So-
buried somewhere weird.
While
Fox.
we go digging to see how many available emote slots that we've got for the channel, we're gonna head out for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on Monday for more Mass Effect, and then back here on Tuesday for episode 98 of Destiny Forge. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you later.